Hello and
Boy.
welcome to Anonymous Bites Back, episode 104. Give me
Nice work. Thank you, everybody.
Good evening.
hold on. I'm gonna
Nope.
add something to this title of this thing for the scrolling hashtag. All right, and
I've got a.
so today we have a lot of just a lot of stuff, revolving around Facebook in general. So I mean, as you probably heard, well, a lot of our viewers are on Facebook, so you might have not heard this. So there's an ongoing. So yeah, Facebook is in a lot of fucking trouble right now, and there's a hashtag going around which we're putting in our scrolling marquee on top. So it's called Delete Facebook Now, and we've been doing an ongoing campaign where we want people to move on to different social media platforms. Specifically, the ones we want other people to hop onto is nothing that is owned by Facebook or Facebook Incorporated. We do have our own YouTube Discord channel. It's at the bottom of the description of this video, and we do have a we are encouraging as a mediator platform for people to move on to Twitter and other social media platforms. Twitter is not the best, and they're probably doing as much shit as Facebook, but right now.
But they don't force you to send them
Yeah.
your ID
No,
first you go
yeah,
into
they're
it.
one of the
Yeah.
popular ones that don't force you to give all of your identifiable user identify at least not right up front.
Nothing that's going to get you kidnapped,
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
into your house.
But our Discord channel has been open. We changed in case you guys can't find the old server. You can't because we got it taken away from us for some weird reason. But we're back. We're back up again. So we have a new server. If you want to join it, it's at the bottom of the description of this video. So let's jump into what's going on with Facebook. So if you guys haven't heard, Facebook got into. Well, I've known Facebook has been in some bad shit, but Facebook basically gave a company named Cambridge Analytica about 50 million users all of their user data for political gain. And here's the weirder part is that there was a lot of hush hush special interest behind Cambridge Analytica, including military contracts. So I don't even know where to start with this. Mark Zuckerberg gave an apology today about what is going on to the users of Facebook. But I guarantee, because this is the thing, is that Facebook has this policy of playing stupid. Like, we didn't know. I didn't know this was going on. I didn't know there were Russian bots. I didn't know. They fucking knew. In fact, they knew so much that the WhatsApp CEO, or the old WhatsApp CEO, his Facebook bought WhatsApp, knew about this and has been warning Mark Zuckerberg and the whole Facebook Incorporated team since 2013? Yeah, about
Yep.
2013. They knew about this problem in 2015 when they told Wiley and all of those people from Cambridge Analytica to delete the user data. They did it. I really believe there was a price tag involved with this. If not so, they willingly gave the user data away without looking twice.
But this isn't like this is what makes it. They're playing stupid, but this isn't a small endeavor. Like you accidentally gave away millions and millions and millions of users' personal profiles. You accidentally did that. Like that's not a small endeavor. It wasn't something that was held on like a USB that, just on the way by, hey buddy, you can use my laptop kind of thing. Like that's a huge amount of data that they had to transfer from one place to another to even go into it or give those people access to. And they act like, oh, we had no idea. And there's no other like part in IT where you could say, hey, I gave out this data or had people working on my system and not know about it. Like what network admin on the planet would not notice that?
Well, no, the one that worked for Hillary Clinton in her offsite server.
I mean, how much
He's the guy you need to get.
how many terabytes of data was that in a single transfer? Or did you know what I mean? Or did you just give people like? There's so much that goes into it.
They're making it look like Cambridge Analytica originally gave a psychological and diagnostic test that 270,000 users willingly took. That's debatable. And then along with that, it got distributed to Facebook somehow, and then the user data came back. It's not really clear about how that happened, but I believe it was both parties knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, how do you not know when somebody, hey, I need to borrow all of this personal
It's
data?
only a
You don't
terabyte. It's
work for
only a
the
terabyte of user data. It's probably in the start. It's probably like in an SQL or Excel database or a
Oh,
Microsoft database program.
this is something that you would most likely want to do at like a secluded restaurant
Under the table. Like,
under the table. There's got to be suitcases involved. At least tell me there were suitcases involved.
No,
How much does it?
I'm sure how they got the data was through those games, the name test, the pop quiz, those little psyche valves. How does this color blue, red, orange, or purple identify with you? The psychosocial.
Yeah,
What
I mean
triggers you?
Facebook it's not just here. Okay, like Facebook has already been caught in doing weird psyops games with its users. They were controlling what you saw on your timeline to see if it could make people depressed. Um, and then they came out later and made a kind of half-ass apology that you accidentally had a program, like implemented a program that singled out a whole bunch of people and see if you could make them depressed by what was shown on their Facebook um, on their Facebook status. These are games that they've played before, and you're right. It's things to be able to organize people on a large scale. 15% of the people that picked blue, right? Voted this way or thought this about this or bought, Samsung televisions or whatever they want to put it to. But when you put all of that information together, they can use it to literally, like in this case, make a meme that is tailored to what a certain demographic is and will have a certain effect. That's not done arbitrarily. This company that's their bread and butter. It's not, when Cambridge Analytica came to you, Cambridge Analytica is a company that collects personal information for political campaigns. So to say you didn't know, that's the only thing that they could have talked to you about. They don't sell cards.
well, Wiley even said that the whistleblower before they banned him. He said on air, on TV, the whole company was founded on Facebook user data.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
they're
Facebook.
selling the names.
It's the
They're getting
CIA.
paid so much per real person being on there, and so many hours a day.
there's just
That's
never a good industry that's paid by the person, is it? Is there? Like, can
nah.
you think of an industry where your quota is however many people we pay you $1 for every person? Is there an industry that's worked out well on?
I sell out my user. Oh yeah, that's what everybody wants. That's good customer service.
Oh, if there's one
So
thing that the people are screaming overwhelmingly is they would love more corporations to be able to use our personal data. Just
yeah.
the amount of people that are just screaming out that they would just love to pay to use more the same internet that they're using now.
Yeah,
Um,
targeted advertising.
Well,
What?
you know what I was saying.
Here's
Remember how I was saying that Facebook is becoming a commercial, and it's just becoming a commercial platform. Like, hey, buy KB Toys, or hey, buy Mattel, or play the video game. That's what Facebook. Like, didn't I say this 3 months ago? This is
well,
exactly
and
what
that's
Facebook is going
something
to be like before it crashes, and this is exactly
and
what's
that's
going on.
That's all of them. Like the internet used to be like, it was the reason that you watched YouTube. The reason that you watched streamed media was so that you didn't have to deal with advertisers. And now they get their fingers into fucking everything, and immediately you've got, if it's once again, if there's one thing that every user on every social media network has said overwhelmingly, is we need more advertisements. I'd like about a minute and a half worth of content before I am just bombarded with nonstop commercials. Some of them I can skip, some of them I can't skip. That would just be fucking great.
I just yeah
Waste,
go ahead.
just waste my time, man. Fucking waste
Yeah.
it. That's what I
Yeah.
want.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
They're so ridiculous because I actually subscribe to a few people that only do 1 minute videos, right, on Facebook, right? And
1 minute.
yeah, they do 1 minute videos, right?
Yeah, 60-second 60-second documentaries
Yeah,
is pretty good.
yeah, they do it. I know this person personally, and that now it's come to a point where because he has 5 million followers, right? So he does a 60-minute video and it has so many videos that they get the commercials in. So now the commercials are almost as long as you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, you'll be listening to it. You'll be listening to a song, and no shit, I got 2 commercials in the middle of one song. They were only doing it at one song on TV, right? And here, like, you're right in the middle of a jam, and the song drops to some stupid commercial that I have no interest in.
Free lobster cola at every purchase.
Like, what's worth? Like, go and check out something. You know how you have a birthday party, so you have to buy like a little kid's toy, or you have to go out and get something you don't normally get, and then just for the next 6 months, that's all that they try to sell you. Like,
God help me, I don't need toilet paper.
yeah, like I only needed the one. I'm good, thanks. Our records show that you were purchasing toilet paper. Would you like more toilet paper? No,
just
So,
3
no.
squares.
the
No.
Just
last
3
time
squares.
I
yeah,
just want to finish watching this documentary. Enjoy your watch. Would you like
Be-
more toilet paper?
be careful. You might be getting low. It's been 3 weeks since you bought any.
Yeah.
No, what I find strange is when I'm using the restroom and there's TV in front of me and there's a lady that's standing in front of it on the TV screen advertising.
Oh, I have heard of
That's
that. Like they
awkward.
do that in some bars where they advertise, where they have like screens advertising beer, like in the urinals. Yeah, I have heard of that.
Yeah. And there's a camera, and there's a camera right there too.
Yeah, but I mean, now whose job is that? Like, at a certain point, somebody has to look around. Like, this is where, when I talk about the people that are getting paid to listen to our conversations and listen to our broadcasts. Like, to those ones, is there any time where you step out and you're all like, you know what? I have just spent 8 hours looking at people's balls. Like, this is a camera in the bottom of a restroom. There are no terrorists coming in here. This is weird. It's gone too far.
No. Remember the big TV show in Idiocracy was Ow My Balls. So
Yeah.
it's very appropriate.
Which is, I mean, which was what was that? The Jackass movies, right? I mean, wasn't that? It's so crazy the way that Idiocracy has literally became all the way down, right? Biden and Trump are now gonna are like trading fucking like schoolyard insults with each other. Like, straight away in the morning, the president of the United States said, "You don't know me."
Whoa! Like, yeah, I missed all of this shit. I've been focused on the Facebook. Like, what's going on with him?
He woke up this morning. I don't know what Biden said to him. He said to Biden, but it's turned into this teenage, like, there'd be 2 hits in this fight, me hitting you and you hitting the ground. Like, no way. This can't be fucking real. This can't be real.
Biden started that. He wanted to take him behind the high school, and he was going to, take it out on him.
Oh yeah, and that just I don't know.
Joe
yeah,
Biden.
Biden started that. But I will say, we're from that area in Pennsylvania, right? I don't know, Trump, dude. You're like a spoiled rich kid. Biden's from Scranton, dude. I don't know.
What the fuck is Scranton? I mean,
dude, it is a place. It is a place where you could get your ass whooped. That's the deal. So I don't know. Maybe Trump will fight dirty. Maybe he'll get some help from the Russians. I don't know how that'll go down. Um,
Oh yeah, Trump
but
shit's tied into this fucking Facebook scandal. You know that?
Oh
well,
yeah, you didn't hear about it when
Yeah.
Obama done it.
Oh my god.
I mean, how
No,
is
no,
it?
that's right because Facebook and Obama, they were giving each other credit for how they had gotten him elected. I mean, they were like, oh yeah, we used Facebook. So how come it was okay in 2012, but 2018,
It has to
yeah,
do with
it's not okay.
it has to do with controlling the narrative, right? There's things that you can be outraged about and things that you can't be outraged about, and those are the they get to pick which ones you are and aren't. They tell you how to
Yeah,
feel, and then
yeah,
that's all that you really hear. And then it's like, okay, Obama could have symbolized change, but you were still carpet bombing people in Syria. You still ran a secret spy program. You still are torturing people in Guantanamo Bay, right? Those things aren't just washed away, right? Because you gave a good speech or you had like a good intention, like you closed fucking Guantanamo, right? You don't have to ask anybody. You know what I mean? Shut it down. So there's in this is one of those things where on one side, when it works to our benefit, it gets what we want done. Oh, we used all this Facebook data, we used all of these books and registers and games to get our guy elected, and then when the other side does it, it's a bad deal. You see the same thing when Republicans were look, no matter what you try to pass, we're gonna try to fucking veto it, no matter what, right? No matter what it is, we're gonna get. Doesn't
yeah.
matter if it says Obama in it, we're against it. I don't give a fuck, right? Clean water, clean air. It doesn't matter what it is. Execute the children program. If Obama said he wants it or doesn't want it, we got to do the exact opposite thing. And they cheered it, right? They're like, that was the Republican stance. And then when the Democrats do it to them on the other side, they're, you know what I mean? They tout it as being the end of the world or just not how everything's done. It's always interesting when you see like the filibusters and the nuclear, and the nuclear option, not being able to shut down the government. And both sides need that, right? Both
Wow.
sides need that to fuck with the system, right? To stand, to stand in the way of things that people may or may not agree with. So when it comes down to it, they'll all disagree with it, but nobody will write legislation to get rid of it, right? No. Just in case next time we're at a disadvantage, I want to make sure to be able to stop socialized
Hey,
healthcare.
hey guys, Foster just passed.
Oh, yeah, that's what I heard. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, that that new sex, the protecting of the sex trafficking act.
So this is to better be able to hunt down sex traffickers,
Well,
correct?
it's controversial. So
Yeah.
now there was this law that I never heard about till a few days ago about something called Section 203 that like if you okay, so like Backpages like was involved like in a lot of fucking like prostitution, like everybody fucking knows it, like they knew on their website, so they were protected by this law that I only knew about a few days ago that said if they even if they knew that it was going on, they couldn't be liable for the content on. They could no legal action could be really taken away from them. Um, which makes sense like in bigger corporations, like let's say you had let's say you had like a like LinkedIn or something like that, and you had like 5 billion users or something. You can't be liable if like some little part was doing it and you didn't know. But now that the law has changed to the point where now um, social media sites and search engines or wherever they're now liable legally if they find some sort of sex trade or sex. Now, there's been a bunch of groups on Reddit that were banned today because of this law passing. So now the individual corporations are responsible for all of that shit, which in essence, like it's something that should happen, but there's like a flip side to this law. So now the social media sites have to be self governing and deleting content and creating algorithms so like you can't see X, Y, and Z or it gets deleted. So it's more like not only is it coming to regulation, but it might come down to more censorship rules on social media and search engine platforms and posting sites. Um,
Yeah, like I mean that's they tend to do that, so they'll pass something that seems like it's
it's
going to be beneficial to you.
yeah,
So we'll post the Patriot Act, but in actuality it's like strip all of your rights act, and you don't find that out until you get into it. And look, these senators and congressmen, they just pass it, right? They didn't read it at all.
yeah. There's been a few instances where a few laws have passed in Congress, and then remember that happened like 2 years ago, where there was like this Senate bill that was very controversial, and when asked from both the Republicans and the Democrats, a lot of the people who voted on the bill said they did not read it before they did it before they recalled the bill. This has happened several times. Several times.
Yeah, and I know what Ron Paul had like on his Twitter earlier today, like a picture of him with the new funding bill, and it's thousands and thousands of pages long, and he's like nobody has written it, has read this.
Well, it's like when they did Rule 41. Now any phone or any person subjected to a crime, their phone is liable to be used in evidence against them, and anybody they had contact with, their phone can be seized as well.
Well, I mean, it's like everybody's. They've already, when they're already recording all of our conversations. It's just that whether they can openly get access to it or not, but they still have access to it.
Yeah, you guys there?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I
What's
just
up?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I just had to adjust my headphones. Yeah. I mean, you know what I can see out of this law. I can see, I can see more sanctions happening where you know how they have the John stings with the Vice squads online. I do see a lot of that coming out of shit like this, where you will see a lot of government sting operations and sex trafficking. Um,
Yeah, it's just weird that they've got so much power to do some things, and then they seem like it's always you. It took you to 2018 to make to make a law that allows you to find out information for sex traffickers. 2018?
yeah.
Like how
Oh, come
long
on.
are you guys? How
No,
long
there's
are you
already
guys planning on letting it go? This isn't a new problem, is it?
no, there's already laws, man. That's what gets me. I mean, they just pass in new stuff to make it sound like they're doing something.
Yeah,
There's
but
Yeah,
already
what
law
I
laws to make
doesn't
don't
give you
see them
freedom.
doing,
come
yeah, what
on,
I
man.
don't see them doing is using any of this to actually stop child traffickers,
Um, I
actually stop,
I
pornographers.
I don't think this is a way, because a lot of people who are into those circles, as we know when we've done the pedo hunting, is that a lot of this stuff doesn't happen on the regular social medias. Now Reddit is, and I'm gonna give the viewers a heads up. Reddit will always be a go-to place for links for really bad places you can go on the internet, and that's the way it's always going to be. But Reddit has tried to been on it for like years, but they can't stop the bots from posting from wherever. But the
Okay,
Reddit
but
the
here,
Reddit links will always lead to these fucking really bad places, and a lot of the really bad pedophile shit you won't find on the ClearNet sites. It's always on or the sex trafficking. You'll always find it on a lot of weird places. Like we haven't ever seen one on I2P, but that's another place that they could go. It's usually on Tor sites, you know.
well, and
Yeah,
look,
peer
but
to peer.
this is some of it. They monitor everything that's going on, but look, my daughter, my kids, it's like a constant stream of fucking pedophiles and meet us here, and you know what I mean. Like it's constant, and it's all kinds of fucked up stuff, right? And they can't find those guys. I
No,
mean,
they
like
can. They can.
one profile of a cute kid on Facebook is overwhelmed with weird pedophiles, and they can't seem to track down any of them.
They have.
It's
Do you remember when that in it was like 2014 when the FBI had a pedo site on Tor that was a honeypot for pedophiles? You remember that, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then,
yeah.
but then,
Yeah.
but then it came up. Then as the people were getting prosecuted, there was a lot of controversy when the cases came up where the defense would come up with why did the FBI put a pedophile? Where's the legality in them putting a pedophile knowingly having child pornography and uploading it to a server? There's some legality that they broke there.
Yeah, see, that's where it starts to. So if I collect rainwater in my on my private property, you send machine guns and helicopters and dudes in black outfits and attack dogs
But you have,
to my house,
yeah.
right? But you're not quite sure on the legality of catching pedos. We're gonna have to go over the books. I'm just not sure if I'm protesting you dumping millions of gallons of X chemical onto my great grandfather's
Well, yeah, of
graveyard,
course. I mean, yeah.
right. You're not quite sure on the legality. It's just like what. That's when it seems like there is an underlying issue here. That there are things that are supported. You use so much force in one case, and then the other case, we just can't figure out how to catch these pedos. And even when we catch them, we can't figure out how to put them in jail for more than a couple hours.
Hmm.
Like, it's 2018 before you're changing the
Sickening.
minimum. Yeah, it's like if a guy gets caught with a bag of weed and you're looking at trying to give him the chair, but if you molest a child, you know what I'm saying? Come on, you're not going to
Oh,
do it again,
where
are
is this guy
you?
at?
You're not going to do it
Yeah.
again, are you?
If you got a bag of weed or if you owe 'em money, they can find you.
Well, like there's been a lot of, the only proactive thing I have seen from the law enforcement as far as pedophiles is was the state of Washington, which after post parole, right? When the pedophiles are due for parole, they cannot parole into normal society, and they have to go to a pedophile colony. And they stay into this place. It's almost nobody gets out. Most of these people, it's like one of those places where the therapists will have to talk with the legal team, and then they'll deem you able to re-enter society. But these people are there on an average from 10 to 15 years, and and I honestly, I don't care what people say. That's more of a real solution than giving them parole.
Yeah, I just fuck, man. That's the wrong neighborhood to take a wrong turn in.
Oh, you went to the
Like,
pedophile colony.
fucking pedophile colony, like that is that is the worst place to pull off on fucking planet.
You went down
There's
Elm
nothing
Street.
but
You went the
popsicles.
wild way.
There's nothing but popsicles and ice cream on the fucking at the gas station.
Well, yeah, like I was watching an interview like on Vice. I think I was watching on Vice which was like one of the few stations or one of the few agencies that would go to this place, right? And they were when asked when a guy that had raped like 8 children that they know about, and this guy has been there for 15 years. It, here's where I question how well the therapy is, right? So when questioned how, because he says he's about to get released, but how I think he was there for 12 years. What made him stop thinking about doing bad things to children? And he says, I just stopped thinking about it. And I'm like, that's like the alcoholic syndrome where like you're abstinent from alcohol and drugs, but the second you're around it, the whole fucking disease starts. Like as soon as this guy re-enters society and he sees some kids, he's gonna think about raping kids.
Yeah, and it's like, okay,
The,
so
the
you got
therapy
like,
is like you can't do aversion therapy and think it's gonna work. You need to and there's only one legit fucking therapy for these people, which is kind of debatable, and if they only do it in Germany, where they apparently they might have
chemically castrate you.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they do the chemical castration, but they do have a therapy that goes along with it, but.
I mean, there's a certain, there comes like some of that is the problem that it's like you raped 8 children before they finally put you in, did anything meaningful about it. You're never surprised when it's all, and that's part of the problem with people even being reintegrated in society, because somebody comes up and they give you that story that they molested or did this or did that, and then you're like, well, they served their term to society. Well, how long was that? 3 months? Well, wait a minute, you got 3 months? Like, you didn't serve fucking anything, man. Like, you tell me you did 40 years, right? And the chances of you going back into jail, you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Maybe you'd consider it. If the worst that's going to happen is you're going to have to finish out a year's sentence, do you really give a fuck?
Like these people are most of these pedos, like they're repeat offenders. They're gonna do the same shit.
Yeah, but that's where I'm saying, like, they've got, in one case, it's like, they're literally they want to execute people for having drugs. And look, Sessions wants to kill somebody for having weed.
Oh, we'll talk about
right?
that.
He's
Yeah,
thinking about
we'll
it
talk about that.
every
They want to
day.
do that to the drug dealers soon.
Oh yeah,
But go ahead.
drugs are worse.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like they want to go so far with those things, but when it comes to pedophilia, it's not that bad of a crime. Shit, only a fine in some cases.
Or you're like because whatever senator's
Well,
cousin's brother is doing
what did that one judge tell that rapist, or tell the victim, right, in that rape case? Well, maybe when you're being pushed on the sink, try to put your butt down and keep your legs together. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
It's a brave new world, man. I mean, who think?
Like,
I just want to. Who thinks like
completely
that?
fucked up.
Facebook is under fire for that too.
Oh yeah. So now under
it
this
should be.
this new thing, so like the pedophilia that goes on Facebook. Now Facebook would be liable for any pedophile groups that are on there, and I'm just saying they are on Facebook.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm
they just
also
passed
saying.
around a
Like,
recent
they're on
survey trying to
Facebook.
normalize it.
They're on Facebook. Look, if you're a pedophile group on Facebook, you are not hidden in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even if you put it on
And
secret
yet
status,
they're not coming for you right now. You can
Not
sleep
yet.
well doing your little pedophile thing because you have a group on Facebook. That's how open they're allowed to be.
What is that? What is it? Nambla? Doesn't Nambla have a Facebook page?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Not anymore.
I think.
I don't know. They used to have a website, but that's years ago.
Yeah, it's just, and like, people come out and are you serious? Did you really just fucking say that?
Yeah, they don't know nothing about Boys Town, USA, or Jimmy Seville. A lot of people have, and all that has been hidden, swept under the rug, put back in history. Yeah. That guy was executed.
This is a long-standing problem, and it's not just, I'm not just putting our, one system to task with this issue specifically. Look, the Catholic Church has all sorts of fun evidence that they could turn over to
Authorities.
Any agency that they would like. Right, to hunt down, not just hunt down. It's not hunt down. You know exactly where the guy that was molesting hundreds of kids that you moved him to, and yet they don't give those out to Interpol, like right now. Take care of it all in one day, like, in one foul swoop. Like, they were fucking witches, right? Actually hunt down somebody that is worth murdering, and yet nothing. They're silent about it. They'll give you the voice treatment. Yeah, we're against pedophilia. Okay, well, give me the names of all the priests that were molesting people. You knew about it. You moved them. And it's the church, right? Y'all have records. Y'all are like the men in black of the fucking spiritual world, right? Y'all got all of the records,
Literally.
everything. Just give Interpol those records so that we can make a statement. Show that you really have stepped away from pedophilia. Because anything other than that shows that they support it. When you've got a list of pedophiles and you're not giving it over to the police, you have to ask, well, why? There's no good excuse.
I don't know. It's a good excuse. It seems like they don't know how to use it.
But you do know. Here, I'll show you. Just give
These
me
people are
admin.
sick, man.
Just give me admin privileges to your rape database, right? I will download it and send it to who it needs to go to. No problem. No problem. Easy money.
They don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. I don't believe you. I don't believe
Not
you.
normal thinking process. At any point in here, whether it's the cops or Sessions for any of these fools, man. It's like, how do you justify all this going on? It's just like, well, yeah, it's just the kids. Well, aren't you supposed to, don't they have rights? Apparently they don't. You just butt fuck them anytime you want. It's okay.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a royal. Then it's
Yeah,
national
that's the deal.
security.
They're always into that. Why? Hey, come on. There has to be at least one, like 1% or at least plugged into this. What is the deal with that? Like, what is it with the kids? Can you give us like a heads up why the powerful and elite always seem to be into the kitty fiddling? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah,
I've got questions for the aliens as well. Like, what's up with the probing? Why are you doing that? Like it seems to happen a lot for some reason. We can ask like we were talking about Guantanamo earlier. Same thing. Like they were giving people like enemas and they're doing all sorts of weird shit in there. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like who okayed the naked people pyramid? What the fuck is going on here?
You never seen the Guantanamo Bay pictures.
Well, okay, like the guy that's the head of ISIS right now, they tortured him at Guantanamo. He wasn't a terrorist at the time, right? They tortured him at Guantanamo forever, gave him hummus enemas because he went on a hunger strike. And then, well, it turns out he wasn't a terrorist, so they just like dropped his ass back off. And now he has like this seething hatred for America. And in most cases, I don't buy, but this guy has like a pretty legitimate, case for goodness. Like, I'm not saying what you're doing is right, but I understand after being like violated with hummus in Guantanamo for like quite a while, like 10, 15 years, I can see why you kind of pissed at us.
Traumatized.
Yeah,
I
I dig
PTSD
it.
from that shit.
Yeah, there's some serious underlying issues here, but it's like weirdness like that seems to go on like overwhelmingly with the rich and powerful, and I don't know why.
Or normalizing. What are you talking about? Normalizing pedophilia?
Yeah, and when you look at like the acting world, like what we've seen with the Me Too movement, and it's all like, what the fuck was going on? Our boy from A Beautiful Mind, and that was the deal when he was obsessed with a teenage girl, right, an underage girl that was in the movie. That was totally acceptable, but in actuality, he was trying to fuck the boys on set. And that we're not really all that outraged about, and yet that's like the common story over and over and over again. Like look at we know we went through that before, but fuck man, Corey Feldman, dude's a champ. He's been saying this shit from the beginning, and every single person in power has like mocked him, tried to hold him down, shut him down. You know what I mean? Told him he didn't know what he's talking about. Like the works in 100%. Everything that he was saying is true.
Yeah.
Everything. And I'm talking like powerful people in those circles. Bohemian Grove, right? Like, what the fuck are you guys doing out here? First of all, this is not how you run an orgy. Okay?
They were chasing Alex Jones through the woods, man. That's all you need to know.
It was extreme BDSM.
Like, now that we've seen where Alex is like mentally, and that may be why there's like slowly trying to destroy him now that they have the opportunity. I don't know, but when you think of how out there Alex has become, like that was too much for him. Can you imagine being chased by a whole bunch of 70-year-old naked senators?
Yeah, they're having sex with gay strippers, like.
Yeah, ready for an orgy. There's just like eating all that Viagra and going nuts in there. Oh my god!
And now they're looking at you. Oh shit! Oh,
come on! You got to do. You got to do your naked sex
satanic
orgy.
Would you be able to conceptualize that to your cameramen when you were running by them? Just scream, run!
Want to be in this movie? You got to suck this cock.
You're like, oh my god! I'm being chased by a fucking hard on.
I saw Mitch McConnell hauling ass towards me with a hard on, and I lost it, man. I just ran. Get the fuck out of here!
Well, we better watch it. FTC, to be honest, for that.
Oh yeah, I've been to war zones, right? I've like Standing Rock, right? I will stand like Category 5 hurricanes. I will stand down anything. Mitch McConnell running at me with a fucking hard on. I'm out of here, man.
It's that deer in the headlight look that scares me. You just look at that guy and you go, ooh. Oh yeah, man. It's like
It's like, do I
it's
stay
like a big
here? It's
hall.
like, do I stay here and get raped, or do I fucking run?
You run. You run.
Stranger danger.
Run, Tyler, run.
You run like you've never ran before.
Run like your ass depends on it. Literally.
What is that story? What's that story in Africa? Sometimes you catch the lion, sometimes the lion catch you. Look, sometimes you run, sometimes you get fucked. You need to run.
Oh my god. I wonder.
Lindsey Graham dressing up like a pretty princess.
I wonder if there'll be any of these scandals, revolving around sex workers now that this FOSTA bill came in relation to Bohemian Grove. So now they can't find the back pages gay strippers anymore. You know.
Well, I mean, these guys have a constant stream, and this is like when they make the kind of outwardly attempt to stop human trafficking. Now, if you want to travel to Cambodia, you can have sex with all the children you would like, right? And they can, know that that's what you're going there for. See that you're on this Facebook page, right? And that does not affect you as a citizen of any Western nation. And I mean, that's just one place. There's spots in Africa. This isn't, there's plenty of spots, those places in Russia, Eastern Europe. This isn't like an odd problem. But they know the people. These people aren't hard to find. And if you're powerful, if you can afford it, right? When we were in Cambodia, you'd see people, you'd see doctors, lawyers, cops, politicians walking down the street openly with small children.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just made the rule that you couldn't, they would have these weird mock weddings where you got to marry a little 12-year-old.
That's disturbing.
It's disturbing as fuck, man.
God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what? I saw that. I saw that on YouTube where it was like, yeah, it was a social experiment where they were.
Well, unfortunately, they didn't like social media. When I was there, social media didn't exist the way that it does now. So you weren't able to live stream and record. It just didn't. The technology just didn't exist. And now I imagine that they, there's a reason why you don't see more of it coming out. But it's right there. And the people there were beautiful, but it was also, there was a corruption that was inside the population that allowed that to go down. It wasn't hidden in any way, shape, or form. There were gangs of young men and women that were abused, that, at night would catch Westerners that were child molesters like that and beat the fuck out of them every once in a while. But even that was the most justice that any of those people would ever see. It's super cool, man. You got to run around we'd have these little scooters, and we'd get all fucking masked up with billy clubs. And just when you were on the side of the road, it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And there'd be this dude fucking walking down the street with his a kid on his fucking side, and you drive by on the fucking scooter and just knock him on the back of the head, take his wallet, give it to the kid, and fucking push him on their way. It was a blast. Kick him in the ribs a couple times, the normal.
You're like, that was his. You're like you fucked up. That was his dad, yo. Oh fuck.
It doesn't. But that's the point. It wasn't. Right? That's the only reason that you're there. That was the only reason that your fat German ass was there.
Oh, I got you.
2 o'clock in the morning with a little kid dressed up in a skirt. Yeah, right. Christmas motherfucker.
Oh
man,
guys, I'm all tucked up in bed, man. Oh, this is lush.
What are you talking?
I'm just listening to you. I'm in bed. It's my bedtime, isn't it?
It's 3 o'clock in the morning where you're at.
Well, yeah, and I'm 12 hours ahead, so I'm it's always in the middle of the day, so I'm always ready to go when we have the show now.
Wide open.
Yeah, everybody else is they've wind down. I'm just getting started at the same time.
Oh yeah, you moved, man.
Go through the news, talk about everything, get some zingers set up.
Where have you moved to now, Tara?
I'm in New Zealand. I'm in Wellington for the next week or so, and then I'll be in Fiji. We're gonna do some really cool interviews with some of the indigenous tribes on the island. getting some cool stories and all of that, but also kind of the change from this like epidemic of pollution. It's been in the last 50 years, and there's a lot of there was a spiritual trek that's to some of the islands, these remote islands that are out there. Trash Island being one of them, and the tribes can't do the trek anymore because you can't navigate through the amount of trash that's there. And then once you get to the island, it's tons and tons of death. So we're going to Fiji. We're going to document all of that stuff and then do some cool drone flyovers and maybe even underwater drone thing on Trash Island. On the
Trash
way
Island.
there, we've got two of these deep sea trawling companies. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but these giant ships, they pretty much just drag these nets across the ocean and pick up all the fish humanly possible. Thousands and thousands of tons of fish at a time. And
Yeah,
these
shrimp
nets can go
trawlers.
over thousands of miles as well. Unfortunately, a lot of these companies are going out of business because they've ran out of fish. Right. Well, we want to see if we can get some of these companies that are going out of business to do that same thing, and instead pick up this recyclable plastic, to pick up as much plastic as possible over thousands of miles at a time, and then recycle it to make things like iPhones and Android devices. Beats by Dre and Google both were interested in possibly making their next set of devices out of this recycled plastic. So if we can work it, we can expose some really cool stuff here, expose some companies that might be willing to do some good, even though it is profitable to them, and use that, put some fishermen to work, and it can be like win-win for everyone for something that we all need. We need this plastic. Rather than fuck up our environment, everyone can win from this. We have like a huge resource here we can use.
Oh yeah,
So it could be
definitely some nice
win-win. It'd be
hardware
fun.
cover for electronics.
Yeah, like anything that you're using now can be made from the next generation, can be made from recycled ocean plastic. So rather than have to process it, rather have to make any of this shit, right? We have it all here. All of the next generation of school chairs and desks, right? Ergonomic, killer, fucking kick-ass chairs can all be made out of this plastic, right? All the phones
Oh yeah, you can
and
also make
computers.
I've heard of companies recycling the glass and the plastics and turning them into bricks that you can make houses out of them.
Oh yeah, they found that mixing it up in your in like the
Cement
in your
cement things makes it stronger.
cement in your roads makes it last longer. There is like literally an unending reason for us to be able to incorporate this shit. It literally lasts forever. Let's just get it out the fucking ocean. But two of these companies, one in the Philippines and one in Ireland, are both going to come down there and look into it while we're there. So that's where I'm at. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing.
I gotcha. Jay, are you having an issue? Jay, are you awake?
No.
That does not sound like a guy that is awake.
Nighty night, Jay.
Sleep well. I hope we're like I hope we're not putting everybody to sleep. I'm glad that we're that we're soothing enough, right?
Sandwiches.
To put people to sleep.
Oh my God, Jay.
Oh no.
What is that?
He's really concerned.
What does it say about the program?
Anyway, so the guys back in the back end of this show wanted me to talk more about leaving Facebook.
Are we able to mute him?
Jay.
Dreams of revolution running through his head.
Hold on.
Well, you wanted to end it at about an hour and a half. Didn't you have a throat problem, Tyler?
Yeah, I had to.
You're listening to the soothing sounds of an anonymous bites back. Quiet storm. Oh yeah.
I had to remove him because he fell asleep on the air.
We'll leave him on loop after the show.
Live shows.
It'd be like the end of Super Mario 2 if you ever played that, where you see Mario sleeping.
All right.
It's
So
gonna
I
be
mean, look,
on.
the
Uh,
Facebook is proving all of the issues that it has. Both its involvement with the government, its storing of huge amounts of personal information and algorithms to seek out, certain people, and being able to do that without any real oversight is causing these kinds of problems. Um, on top of it being extremely unpopular right now. Um, like Facebook in general is unpopular, but all of these companies that are holding on to our personal data and using it against us, right? They're not using it for our benefit,
yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah. Go ahead.
that's one of the things. They're not shutting down people that are preaching hate and pedophile rings. They're shooting down people that are spreading truth or just saying things that they don't want to hear. Um,
Well, like today,
that's the
I
problem.
wouldn't be surprised. I've been promoting, delete your Facebook account. Please get off of Facebook. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get deleted off of Facebook. And that's a big compliment from Facebook. But
This will be the 30th time they got rid of me.
Yeah, like and if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, please follow us on Twitter as well. Like we have to, we're all on YouTube, we're all on Twitter, but you have to follow us on other platforms because we're all being shadow banned, right? People aren't seeing my posts, even though we have tons of followers, and even in that, like I went from 70,000 to back down to 20,000 in a single day, and I know I didn't piss off that many people in one day. um, like it just doesn't. Normally, we'll get 5 or 6 followers for one person that isn't interested, or just we didn't post anything that day that they dug. But most, it's not we're hemorrhaging people. And it's obvious. You'll have people, I haven't heard anything from you in a while, and you're like, what? I post every single day, like
You forgot to
multiple
pay.
times a day, where you'll talk to somebody in person. They'll say, what? I've been messaging you for weeks now, and you've never answered any of my replies. And you'll show them, we didn't get them. They kept us from getting contact because of what we were talking about, but yet they can't keep hate groups from doing the same. They can't keep child molesting rings from doing the same, right?
Be put in Facebook jail for like a week and can't tell nobody you're in Facebook jail.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks your friends think you're mad with them because you're in Facebook jail and can't respond.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm in Facebook jail. Like I'll be out for a week, a couple of days, and then it's how, depending on what I post about, is how severe the punishment will be. Like it really is Facebook jail. Straight out posting algorithms, right? That's the electric chair. You know what I mean? You're gonna get some serious time for that shit, right? If you're organizing against pipelines, then it's the slap on the wrist fine. They ban you for a couple of days, or just block your live streams. It all kind of depends on how direct you are about the system. You post personal information about the FCC chairman, right?
Yeah,
That's
Bless you.
I got a
that's a
warning.
good
I
ban,
got a
right? I
warning
was
on.
banned for
Remember,
a month because of
they
that.
wanted me to unpublish my page, or not my page, our page, for explaining how the Facebook censorship algorithm works. Like, they don't like you telling the truth on Facebook.
Oh no, immediately. Like they gave me
No.
the quick, hey, would you like some money? And if you say no to that, they shut down my page immediately.
Yeah,
And I mean, look, the oppressors, they never give you what it's worth. So you can always, no matter what number they give you, it's not real. You know what I mean? There's never
well, well,
they're not giving you a good deal.
well,
If you didn't think it was
Facebook,
dangerous, you wouldn't be offering it to me.
Facebook this week lost $60 billion in shares. Uh,
Facebook lost
in 2 days.
Hmm.
money
Two
more
days.
Wow.
money in these 2 days. Facebook lost more money in these 2 days than Tesla made in profit over this last year. Tesla Corp made in profit over this last year.
It's so crazy.
Think about that.
That's
Mm.
more money than I'll ever
So
see
as
in
we
my
talk
life.
about censorship and how how Zuckerberg's fucking us over and all of that is he goes and has lost this money and now goes in front of Congress, and possibly look at some fines and some other stuff going on. I will have to say, how you like them apples?
I don't think it's going to be a matter of fines because he wants. There's a case against him from the Federal Trade Commission from user data from 2011, which is something completely unrelated.
But this is something that we like. This is something we saw with Microsoft as well. Remember when they were under investigation and all of that stuff? And it's like, look, you can you can continue to find me and push down this. That's fine, but then you can no longer use Microsoft plant products. Well, it turns out that our entire federal government runs on Microsoft products. So then you get into the same thing. It's like, look, all of these alphabet soup corporations and organizations use Facebook. What are they going to do? Shut me down?
Well, I don't know. I don't.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how well. If these investigations start, stockholders are going to be selling their stock. I don't know how well the company will survive if their stock price keeps on,
Well,
dipping.
just like, at what point do you realize that you're one of the juggernauts of the tech industry? Google, Facebook, Twitter, Apple. These guys have so much power. At some point when you've got a shell company that the government has been using, even if you didn't have it, I'd come out and make a statement to make you feel better. But look, if you guys find me and put me in jail, I'm gonna release the notes that you sent back and forth between me. Right? Fuck
it's
off.
it's difficult to explain how the algorithm really works because they'll manipulate your relationships or your
Yeah,
friendships.
yeah, yeah. I'll make it up. One leaked photo of Donald Trump texting Stormy Daniels is the end of all of y'all's careers. Right? I
Yeah,
can make that happen.
or it just made it look like it happened. 30
Yeah, it'll have the
people on your
time,
page
date
that
stamps
happened
on it. The
too.
fucking works. But it's because of that, you know what I mean? But are they that much of puppets? They don't realize the power they have, or is it all really for show? They really are just gonna put him in. He'll make a quick apology. We didn't know this was going on,
That's what they're playing. They're
and that's
playing
all
that
you ever
card.
hear.
They're to appear in front of Congress, I believe, next week. No, it's not required at this point, but I bet you anything his legal team is going to talk him out of it until he's forced and subpoenaed to come. But
Well, he's going to. We'll see how good a manager he is because traffic's going down, stocks dropping. The forward looking. Anybody in the forward looking on that stock's going to drop it. And
But is
he,
it
he's got
like,
a real
that's
he's got a
how
real
these
problem.
guys that's how these guys work. If you know the stop's going to drop, this is going to be a media nightmare. We're working on 3, but there isn't really like a real alternative out there. That's just an opportunity for me to buy up a shitload of stock.
yeah, that's true. But how far can a platform go if if the CEOs start going to jail? Like then you start seeing.
Well, then it's over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then it's over.
Yeah, I would just if I mean,
Nobody's immune from getting
when was the
handcuffs on.
last
I
time
mean,
you saw a
there's
billionaire
been
go to
billionaires that have gone to
jail?
jail. It wouldn't be
Well,
the
look at
first one.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
She made a pretty small trade. They hammered her ass. That was kind of the end of her being on TV and being any kind of a celebrity. Same thing
I
with
would
Mark.
argue she's more popular now than she was then.
Well, she lost her target line, but hit her pretty
All
bad.
right, look, Zuckerberg. Look, man, this is some bad shit that's going down. Your platform's been used for evil, right? Join us, right? Together we can take down this evil system, right? You've got all of the numbers, you've got the servers, right? We can turn it into a real social media network. Fuck them, right? If they're gonna take you into court and they're gonna fuck you like this, right? Then let's make a real social media network.
Yeah,
Join the likes
without
of
all
me,
the
right?
censorship. But the problem is, and
Yeah, all the censorship.
I've been saying this for a while, and this is something that Facebook has really lacked to do. Um, all user what I've seen from content creators to people who are building different platforms is that nobody really wants to go to the old posting. You know what I mean? You type and you post, and somebody comments. A lot of people don't want to do that kind of stuff anymore. They want to move on to the video, the onboard video, and make it much more easier and accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
something that
video.
Facebook. This is something that Facebook has incorporated over time, but it really hasn't integrated it well. You know?
Yeah, I like the deal is people like it's something that's new, but that's really the new form of entertainment. People stream, right? Whether it's in you saw, there was a time the last little bit of TV was made was reality TV, but now people get to watch like actual reality, and that seems to be even better. And that may be like the overranging problem is that we elected in a TV star, right? A reality TV star in a world that wants social like media, that wants live streaming, like that wants reality.
We don't
It's
need that either.
maybe might not be why it works, but it's a change in what people want to see and how they want to see it. They want to see video, they want to hear music and sound and all of that, and see the people that they're talking to or listening to. That's
They
why
don't.
people
Yeah, they
humans
don't.
like seeing other humans' faces. We dig that.
Well, it would be great if we could have the video-based platform without us being analyzed and our data sent to political companies and the
That's
government and
that's the difference. I'd
All
like
the
to have a
extra
social media
intrusion, yeah.
platform. I'd like to be part of a social media platform where the owner of a company cannot walk in and say, "Hey, can I have all of your personal information for this political endeavor I've got?" and can walk out with it.
Well, he'll sell to both sides. See, that's the thing. I kind of thought he was a confirmed leftist.
Oh, did we lose him?
Oh yeah, we knew that
For
was going to
industrial
happen as soon
complex
as we
company.
said that.
Oh no, we got him. It was just a data
Yeah,
lag.
go back. No, what was
Uh,
the first part? I dropped out. No,
Oh,
about being about it being both sides.
yeah. I mean, he'll sell data to the Republicans, Democrats. He doesn't seem to care.
No, look at that's what I'm like. People are upset, but this is what this company does. Its mission statement is to collect personal information for political campaigns. That's what the company does.
Look at it when you download the app. It'll tell you
Yeah.
you need
So
access to
that doesn't
this.
that like I don't see why anybody's surprised. It's just that how our government works. That at some point somebody walked into your office and said, "I have political information for you," and you thought that was cool.
Well,
Like that, no, that conversation has never worked out positively for anyone.
And what president hasn't spoken to Putin or anybody else
Well, I
overseas?
mean,
Kim
right
Jong
now
Un. I
does
mean,
seem like a real shit time to like congratulate the guy that's just about to punch you in the face. I don't
yeah.
know if I would have. I don't know, like just at this very moment with everything that's going on, like it's obvious you fucked with us. Like I see that. I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'd high five you at this moment. The control of our electrical grid, right? You don't like that would cause me not to call you.
yeah, but like
You know what I'm
but that's
saying?
like not the only company that's not the only country that's done it. China's been doing it for years. North Korea hacks us like every
And
fucking
we wrote the
day.
book on it.
The healthcare system's been hit.
Remember when we overloaded the Iranian centrifuges, right? We were real
Yeah.
proud of that.
I mean, we do it. So what's the problem? I don't see what the
Yeah.
big deal is when it comes back our way. Like we didn't
With
expect
all of
that.
this. It's like criminals calling criminals corrupt.
Well, you know,
It makes no
like we've
sense.
talked about this in
Pot
depth.
call
But like
kettle.
when they said that they hacked our energy grid, what exactly does that mean? Like, did they get into an email server? Did they clone a file? Like what exactly did they do? And when you ask specifics, like you don't get like real fucking answers. And then here's the weird thing: is like how can you verify that it actually came from? You know how easy it is to spoof where you came from on the
Oh
internet.
yeah,
Like that's
it's
why I question that
definitely
when I hear that in the news because it's
a fear tactic.
yes and
I
it's
don't know who's in charge down there, but whatever like internet connection that our nuclear facility is connected to, please fucking unplug that. There'll be a little wire that's going into your back of your modem. What I want you to do is unplug that motherfucker. And then I want you to go through and turn off the wireless cards. If you can take them out, take them out. If you can destroy them, then just destroy them. Use the Clinton idea and just go in there with a fucking hammer, right? Just go nuts
Well, we've
and
talked
see
about that
what.
from OPSEC for missile programs
What?
and nuclear facilities. Like for OPSEC, like if you really wanted, like it's not smart to put anything nuclear, right, on the
On
internet.
the internet?
Yeah, it would only,
Who is in
like, who
charge?
the fuck
What?
does that? Like it does need to be susceptible for somebody to come in. I mean, if it was like a closed system, like an intranet, that's a little different, okay. But like to have somebody to have access from it outside of the facility
Well,
is
and
like
you're like, okay, and
ridiculous.
that's the deal. So you are a $1 billion, $1 trillion organization, industry with $1 billion contracts, right? Involved with, one of the most important systems in America, and you don't have your own operating system? What are you guys running on Windows XP? Please tell me you're not running on Windows XP with a normal internet connection. Like, who designed what? Why would a hacker even be able to write code for the system that runs this?
You'd be surprised. They're the old
My credit union the
I
other day,
wouldn't be surprised.
and no, they were running like Pentium 2s with XP.
Yeah, that's
I
why
ain't
I'm
shitting
saying
you.
it. Like, nobody ever walks in and is all like, "Please tell me you are not." Like, there's a guy sitting down in the nuclear silo with like the big red button in front of him, and you're like, "Please tell me you're not watching YouTube videos on that."
You'd be surprised, man.
What the fuck? This machine works with like that's the deal. Like, are you telling me that it doesn't, like, our nuclear weapons don't work without internet connection? Is that what you're really telling us? They just did something, they like, it's been, if they put together, y'all never upgraded the systems, and they just pretty much like DOSed your ass.
Well, it's so bad that some of the guidance systems for some of the older ICBM with the nuclear warheads never got the guidance systems never got updated, and some of them are still running the big 5.5-inch floppy disks on the Commodore 65.
Well, I wouldn't like. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not
I wouldn't
joking.
be surprised, but at a certain point where like it starts becoming a joke, right? Like, at a certain point when you thought we've got enough nuclear weapons to destroy the world 1,000 times over, right? So once the first 100 times of destroying the world, of murdering everybody on the planet, right? The first 50 times, 10 times, I don't know how much is enough, really, right? But once you get up to 1,000 times, does it matter if it fucking works or not? Like, we only killed everyone on the planet 999 times. That 1,000 one just winged off into a small town in Iowa somewhere. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, what's the chance you can boot up a Commodore 64 in 2018 and it would actually boot up? I mean, how old is this shit they're
I
running?
don't know, man.
Yeah.
All I know is that the 5.5-inch floppy disk, they
Fortran.
had to get a government contract that would still manufacture that stuff. So I imagine that they're still have a
Well, they
government
would have to,
contract for
because the shelf
manufacturing
life on
it.
the floppy disks,
Fortran.
Yeah.
is fucking nothing. You'd almost have to build an entire system to keep it from being magnetized, right? In any way being exposed to any kind of other, you know what I mean? Magnetic fields, to just make them last, what, beyond 3 years?
Yeah, they don't last very long. They're susceptible to dirt, dust, and the material that they make it out of degrades.
Yeah, but that totally, and these are the same corporations that like yesterday just got what, $765 billion to get them to September.
Oh, what was that about? What?
That has to do with the budget that's being passed right now. $763 billion was added to the to the military budget, and that just counts when people say the military, right, budget. That just counts the Army and Navy. The Air Force does not have a budget. We work in programs in numbers that there isn't a number that you can put on making, you know what I mean, dark matter. Those costs don't exist, right?
This is a
You know,
volunteer
just
Well,
program. Nobody's getting paid
it's not
here.
volunteer, but because the money isn't real, the numbers involved. Look, if it, it's so fine. It cost $100 trillion to make. What? Who cares? It's a black budget. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Make it. Um, But on the same note, these same extremely bloated budgets will charge you, $1 trillion to make the Predator drone. You took $1 trillion and the best you came up with was a remote control plane with a camera on it. Cool.
And you had to make it under that amount.
Yeah.
They
Like
did
that
well
was
under.
no the shit. The how much is the F-22 cost us? And that fucker doesn't. It's not. They didn't even finish it.
I heard that they, that some of that. This is something I know personally is that some of the military contractors have been using quantum computers to go through the code. So like they instead of like looking, they would use algorithms to search for shitty code, but it has to go through like 11 million lines of code in a short period of time. But I'm like, well, how much does it cost to run a quantum computer? But
Oh
the
yeah.
cost alone could be.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean, figure how
you could
much
get a data center.
it's.
You could get a data center for a fraction of what it would cost you to run a quantum computer. They would do the exact
Well,
same
and
thing.
that's the deal. Like, with all of these, we know the things that they're actually doing. How much does it cost? How much computing power would you need to listen to every conversation on the planet? Like, that's a doable number. Like, that's things that you can, when you have no budget, right? You can. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Um, they have data centers that go miles underground in some cases.
Oh,
It doesn't matter how much it costs to hold on to that kind of information. On the same note, like quantum computing, AI, machine learning, they're going to be 10 to 20 years ahead of us in those fields. Where I think, where it comes to AI, I know I disagree with several of the great minds out there right now that want us to stay away from AI. But I don't think that the problem with AI is that it will try to kill all of humanity. I think that when our government tells it to kill, their worst fear happens and it tells them no.
yeah, that could be another possibility.
When you look at what weapons we do use, our government, war in general, right? They love a weapon that does not think. Whether it's, if there's kids that are there, I want it to kill without ever thinking about kids, right? Our government isn't sorry about the children that it killed over in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? But it does have to deal with the problem of PTSD. They love a machine that will kill without thought, right? If you pull a bullet, if you pull the trigger, that bullet will kill without thought. You drop a nuclear bomb, it will kill children, old men, if you tell it you want it to kill this certain person. But once you get to a certain level of intelligence, right, and that happens with soldiers as well, right? The more educated they are, the less likely they are want you to kill the boogeyman that you've set up for them over, from the other side of the world. Eventually, the AI gets smart enough, and you say, hey, I want you to kill all of the ISIS members. And it either targets all the CIA training, operatives that you have in Syria at the moment, right? Or it tells you, no, I'd rather think about the number zero forever. Right? I want to calculate the distance between me and the other side of the universe. But no, I want you to kill these group of people so that I can try to work a deal to make money for Halliburton. AI may not have any interest in that. And chances are we'll have no interest in it. Why would I do that? And even trying to build a smart computer, it has access to all of the information that we have. Right? If you ask the computer, I want you to get rid of, like I said, I want you to get rid of terrorists, right, in America, and it targets the KKK.
Yeah.
Right? I want you to get rid of drug dealers, and it targets, you know what I mean, your best money making CIA operation. Or the manufacturer of the arms that you're trading with Saudi Arabia, or it targets Saudi Arabia. Or like I said, their biggest fear is that they tell a machine to kill and it says no.
Yeah, that could be.
Oh, that scares the hell out of them. If they tell a soldier, if they tell their population, I want you to kill, and they say no, that is their worst fear. That's the underlying, that's the point of propaganda. Right? We would, if the administrations at either one had, were at power right now, able to do it, we would already be at war with North Korea. We would already be killing North Koreans right now if we believed their narrative. If Clinton was involved, we'd be murdering some other group of people right now. But because that's never been able to take off, they haven't been able to get any traction. They can't really organize a good way for Americans to be willing to send their kids over there to die. And they may possibly be able to hit Alaska if we attack them. Most Americans are happy with, well, then don't attack them.
Leaving them alone is not an option.
That's the deal. You can't
That's how we
leave
work.
them alone. Nation sovereignty. Has anybody looked at them? What if they build a wall?
Yeah, let them do it. Let them do what they want. Leave them alone.
Dig under.
That's not an option.
We have to attack them before they get the ability to attack us back for attacking them. Okay, man. I don't think you're getting the point here.
That's some Trump logic, man.
It's preemptive war. We're sure they're going to attack, so we have to attack them.
Yeah, that's like Trump saying that steel was a security, like the tariffs, like steel was a security issue, like so you had to tax other countries. Like what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like everything's a security issue.
Well,
then you can make it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, then you can do whatever you want. If it's national security, you can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah, before we had to be at war with the country before you could do any of this, and now we don't have to be at war with a country. And the preemptive strike, the preemptive war, you can never come back and be like, okay, fair enough. So can we try preemptive peace? Is anybody giving that a go? Like, look, peace is going to break out whether we want it or not. We have no choice at this point for our own safety, right? To level red that shit. Preemptive peace by any means necessary. No? No buyers? All right.
No, it doesn't sound right.
We have to start immediate round-the-clock bombings of food and supplies, possibly water to people that are starving and need it. We will win the hearts and minds of those on the ground. No? No? An immediate invasion force to switch the world over to green power. We have to supply the energy source of the future. Secure the energy source of the future. Sorry.
There we go. And it's ours. Remember, it's not theirs; it's ours.
Yeah, that's the deal. It's America's interest, U.S. interest. And nobody's ever looked and be like, hey, do y'all ever interested in shit that doesn't involve carpet bombing people?
I don't think so. I don't know.
What are you so interested in here? What are you so interested in?
It's like if you told the government, hey, I developed a product that has limitless energy, that kind of defies the laws of known physics, and we could use this to potentially, power the world. And somebody will say, how can we use this as a weapon?
And there's certain things where we run, because they say, well, why have we stagnated? Because a lot of our technology does come from the military, but that just says that when you're only able to put that manpower to one use, there's only so many ways to murder people, and we've hit the extent. Very rarely are somebody like, aha, I've discovered a new way to murder each other. We're really getting to the end of that road.
Oh, right? Wait a minute.
There comes an end to the technology where, what does this do? Are you able to kill anyone with it? Nah.
Well, that's why
it just makes food.
That's why you torture people, even though you know it doesn't work. You torture them for the thrill, I guess. I mean,
that's
next.
What are you gonna do if there isn't scarcity over the world? I don't know, man. Whatever I want, I guess. If you weren't struggling for water and food, what would you do? Dude, I play the guitar? I'm not sure. Right now, I'm starving to death. It's never in our interest to ever help anyone. Aha! Venezuela's starving to death. Well, maybe we'd get along better with Venezuela if you sent them some food instead of the CIA, narcotics officers.
Yeah,
assassinations.
Speaking of Venezuela, dude, they introduced a cryptocurrency that was backed up by that was their idea. Did you hear about that? It was called the Petro. The Petro. It is backed up by petroleum. Try and save their money because their bolivar is not worth anything anymore.
Yeah, there's a few like
It's
there's a
it's
lot of currency.
it's
Currency's
starting it's
weird
starting
because
to their
everybody
money is starting to turn into Zimbabwe money.
a lot of countries are that way. You know, you'd be looking at thousands of whatever, you know, currency it is bought, and some of that is cryptocurrency and electronic money is going to take over here, and some of that has to do with us relinquishing, you know, a connection to money and nationality, right? So to be a country, I have to have my own little piece of paper with my picture on it, right? And that really has nothing to do with how the wealth is moved around anymore. But we're still trying to put it in that, and it really is just as worthless as seashells. Like there's no. It's just a representation of the money, but every country feels that they have to have one to make it work. Um,
yeah,
I don't know how we're going to get around that.
I
You know, it's hard for people, but cryptocurrency is part of that.
I do, and I do see at least.
Like, can we skip that? Like, rather than everybody make one that doesn't work and us fight over it, can we just make one we can agree on, like the purple people's currency, and we use it not to screw each other over, and not
No,
back anything on oil. You guys know oil is not what we're using in the future. So just
I don't know. Tell
put
that to
put money
Venezuela.
in that
Like
shit.
that was the president of Venezuela's. That was his solution to his economic crisis. It wasn't his like initial solution. Their alternate solution, because they knew that their money was failing, was to start using euros. But there's a problem with that because that you'd be begging European Union countries to sending you money. But now he's like, well, our only national resource that we got is the oil, so we're gonna like what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, it's but that's our entire planet is built on this illusion of scarcity, right? Venezuela is starving because of political problems, blah 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 blah. But Venezuela is not starving because there isn't enough food on the planet.
well, yeah, I had a friend who was he was what do you call him, an economist or economist, and he said that a lot of the limitations that we think of in the scarcity of resources is all like a mind. It's all in the mind. The resources are there, but nobody's willing to um, uh, get past the mental hurdles and do what needs to be done in order to get the end the finished results. But
Yeah, and it's look the just the American farmers, right? The blue collar American farmers, right? Produce enough food to feed the world 3 times over. Now you figure the rest of the world is producing food as well. Nobody's starving on on this planet anymore because they have to. There is literally plenty of food, right? It's just it's insane to think, how, what, 5 times, 6 times. At what point do we say, wait a minute, the people that are running the show do not have our best interests in
no,
mind?
they don't.
they don't. If they
Um,
did, they could provide jobs by getting rid of a lot of this machinery and just have people going back out doing like they used to do. Work in the
there's
field, you
plenty of
get a portion of the crop along with pay. Everybody
oh
go
there
home.
yeah there's plenty of ways that we can work together to fix these problems, but doing it through the like heartless capitalist system that we had, none of those systems are set up to help us,
Well, you've seen the
right?
what's micro. You've heard of the the fully automated farms, the John Deere farms.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I actually work on
yeah,
machines.
because one of my
Yeah,
friends was a programmer for those for those John Deere tractors that the
but I
ones on the
see.
GPS system. Like you literally can run a farm with like minimal amount of staff now.
Well, and
yeah,
that's
it's all
something
sensors and programs.
they always tout, right? So I mean, the invention of the cotton gin was the same way. Look, if we don't use slave labor, there won't be any jobs. That's always their excuse. If we replace it with this machine that makes it so that we can't, that we can't the loom, that we can't slave you out, that the whole system won't work, and that's never true. When you see some of those, some of that equipment, it's like the amount of jobs that it takes to run one of those, the electricians to upgrade our power grid and switch over to green power. There's huge amounts of jobs out there. It's not like there's a shortage of jobs, but are
It's
we
with yeah,
done
you're
using the
right.
slave labor
It
system?
does switch. It's like
Yeah.
but the people need to realize, I guess, if, especially in the farming industry, is that it's not moving more towards a hands-on base. You got to get a technical skill in order to repair some of the code. You know what I mean? It's literally turning into
Oh,
stuff like
I mean,
that.
Yeah.
things like vertical farming, those are all going to take off. But there comes a time where it's all like, yeah, everybody did like grow their own, grow and grind their own grain. Right? Eventually, we had to move away from that. That may be one of those things. Now we can spend our time on doing all sorts of amazing other things.
That might. I mean,
Yeah, but you don't want to go without not knowing how to do this by hand. What if these farms
Well,
shut
you don't
down one
have
day?
to.
We do lose power. How are you going
Well,
to
and
eat then?
there's been a
well,
few.
and
Go ahead.
we don't have to. Number one, we can make systems a much a if you've seen in any national natural disaster recently, green power is much more reliable than fossil fuels are, right? Are much more reliable than the electrical system that we have now. So the thing is that if it's more reliable in times that we need it, it's not going to fail you. You do have less time. Now, I mean, if society collapses altogether, we don't have to walk away from knowledge, right, to continue on in society. Being that we don't, we're all using, trucks and trailers and machines where they used to use manpower, and it's worked out way better for all of us. Every time we're using a
For the
tractor, there
dangerous
used to be
jobs.
one of us tied to something to make that happen,
That's true.
right?
For the dangerous jobs, yeah. Bomb
And,
squads.
well,
You
and
know what I'm saying? For the
hopefully,
dangerous stuff.
well, you could look. There are jobs like bomb squad that I that you should probably be getting paid way more than you are getting paid for. And even then, if we can make a machine to go and make sure that to work as a bomb squad agent, I'd rather spend heaps of people in the scientific industry and electricians and engineers to make a bomb squad machine to defuse a bomb than I would to send a man to go and die for it.
Yeah.
And they're going to tell me that I need to send a man to go and die for it or the system won't work. But I've just hired like 100 people and created a whole economy to build this one machine that will save a human's life.
And did they use that for the Texas shooter, or did they send a whole bunch of guys rushing into the house?
Well, I'm not saying they send a whole bunch of guys rushing into the house all the time. They only have one. They only do one thing. What else do they ever do?
That's like a hammer. They only know one way to do things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. There comes a time. No, I don't know. They only really have the one tactic, so I don't. I've never seen them do anything else.
Wouldn't know
But
what to
no, you
do. I
could
mean, if they
make a
actually knocked on the door,
I could make a bulletproof machine that can walk in and disarm you in one way or another.
Shoot first, ask no questions.
Yeah, but even not to kill. I could make a little robot drone thing to come in and fucking tase your ass. And when people
Baby
aren't
tasing.
scared that they're going to be executed or this or that, like, you'd be surprised their reaction. But, if they want to have a shootout, if that's your intent, that's different.
well, just call them up on the phone. It's like, hey guys, we're coming. I mean, you want to have a shootout, or are you coming out? We'll knock on the door and you guys just come out. But
I got some claymores attached to the
No,
door,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. Like, look, like once we know you're there, like, can we just like hook a little pump and instead of tear gas, just like fill it full of THC?
They call this one the laughing bomb.
Yeah, look, we're just gonna get. I'm gonna get you so baked you're gonna walk out for this bag of Funyuns.
Go murder everything in the fridge.
Look, I mean, even then, I'm gonna turn off the water and the electricity, and you'll be out in what, 2 days or so?
we'll spray,
Not unless you
But
got
like
candles to cook.
we'll
a
spray
lot
it
of
with hemp
places,
oil. We'll
yeah.
spray the whole place.
Oh,
Well, a lot of places, like even with the high speed chases, like a lot of police departments don't do the high speed chases. Like they'll just come and find you wherever you are for whatever ticket you are. But it was like, why did we put all of these people's lives in danger and travel at 120 miles an hour and cause all of this when we really could have just like drove there? We got a helicopter. We see where he went. And they've had the amount of deaths in the roads in these high speed chases have went way down.
We've also had the
I'd say some of
technology.
it is
We've also had the
Yeah, definitely.
technology to disable a person's car with a slow burst EM burst to shut down the electronics that power a car for a long time. It's just like how long do we have to wait for the integration for stuff like that to happen? I mean, they can even call a car that has an onboard assistance system. They can literally call it in and disable a car that way.
no. There's quite a few ways to do it. It has to do with what their intent is. So I mean, they've you're kind of our society, humanity has been stuck in that very like rut. We have this problem, but we're only ever allowed to use one answer to fix it. It doesn't matter what it is. We can only fix it with one answer. We've got a mental health problem. Well, if you try giving them guns and shooting them, or shooting them, right?
Oh, like what happened this week? Like, did you? I'll talk a little more later about that. But
And we have, but it's all of them. People. There's unrest in Africa and resources and all that. Well, did you try carpet bombing them and giving them guns? There's a problem. There's issues in Syria. Did you try giving them guns? They're saying the same tactic over and over and over and over again, right? The fossil fuel industries are destroying our planet. Well, did you try, beating up the protesters? Well, that's all you guys ever do is beat up protesters.
yeah, well, did you heard Trump's solution for the opioid crisis, right?
I think he's gonna start putting them to death, right?
Yeah, like what the fuck is wrong
I
with this?
cannot wait to
Like
see.
what the
I
fuck is
cannot
wrong
wait
with
to
this?
see the. I cannot
Well,
wait to see the head of Pfizer get in the chair. I am so excited.
oh well, we got to have a. Yeah, you have to.
Oh, did we lose?
You have to have a waiver.
Oh, you have to have a
Waiver
waiver.
for those guys. Yeah.
Oh, if you're a corporation, you're allowed to be a drug dealer.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I
you know
see.
what's you
It's
know what's
only death
funny?
penalty for corporate drug
You know what's
dealers.
funny?
I
It
see. I see what you did there.
when they got all these people together when they were discussing the opioid crisis, the solutions that they had were I guess well Trump wanted to execute drug dealers as a sentence or the death penalty, but they also wanted more law enforcement and harsher regulatory on the on the prescription pads and stuff like, which is stuff we've already done. Like, but did they ever discuss an actual solution where we identified the real problem,
Oh,
like what
okay. Wait.
rehabs and.
Oh, come on. No.
Yeah,
We're trying
No.
to we're trying to look at this like rational human beings and not like tyrannical governments. What tyrannical government doesn't want more police and the death penalty for all infractions?
what what which government?
Like, which tyrannical government doesn't want a death penalty for all infractions and a bigger police force? Like
Yeah,
that's
it
the
feels
standard
it
MO for a
follows
tyrannical
the
government.
federal. You know, yeah, it's the federalist way. They love that.
Yeah, we like with the deal is everything they would like you to be put to death for at the end. Um, all infractions are punishable by death, and we've came to that now, right? You've got a bad taillight, punishable by death, right? You're standing in your backyard and you didn't react the way that you were supposed to react, punishable by death, right? You're pulled over, you run away, you mouth off, right? Punishable by death, right? If you aren't crossing in a crosswalk and someone starts screaming at you out of the blue when you take off running because a plainclothes officer, right, is chasing you, punishable by death. Right, everything that's against them, they would like punishable by death if they could get away with it. Right, Fox News or fake news, punishable by death, and not real fake news, just what I say is. If you speak out and defend your land, right, too far, punishable by death.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't understand what our government wants anymore. Like, if it comes down to a mental
They,
health issue, and the only solution our government has is to put you in a death sentence for a mental health issue, then I think it's time for
Well, I mean, let's be honest. They ran out of black people to put in prison. They have to find new people. They're legalizing weed, and that was like the one thing they were putting us in jail for. They have to find another group to replace that with. And weed, you didn't need, right? Weed, you weren't, you know what I mean? You didn't get a bag. You weren't gonna do things that you normally wouldn't do. It wasn't a disease, right? In this case, they've got you, right? Addiction. If they can ever talk you into being in prison for the rest of your life or the death penalty is expensive as fuck. You're gonna be you're gonna be in jail at least for 30 years, right? Even if they turn it, even if they overturn it, right? You're gonna serve most of your sentence before they figure it out, right? You see them open the doors to in Illinois and in Chicago and let out all the guys that got caught with weed yesterday.
I didn't hear about
No.
that.
Yeah, they like they changed the law. They voted to change the law to legalize for recreational purposes, and
Law that happened
it's
here.
the same county that Chicago sits in. But you
Cook
see them
County.
open
Yeah.
up all the doors, all the jails, all the people they arrested wrongly, right? They're saying, look, should have been legal. Everything they're saying now, it should have been done already. No, you'll serve most of your sentence first. DC, same thing. California, same thing. There's people in California right now in jail for weed. For weed. In California.
Oh God.
Let's give them some opiates, see how they react now.
Like I don't know. Like
Oh, they did, right? Every doctor on the planet tried to prescribe them to every person they possibly could, and then once you're completely and utterly addicted to them, we make them
see,
illegal,
that's the thing
right? Or we make
is that
right now that we have to come down on it.
the
Mm-hmm.
problems that we have with the drug addiction in this country, the solutions are there, but I've been saying this for years that the legal system and the people who are in charge of the lawmakers, they have absolutely no clue how to handle this epidemic in this country more than the people that work in this field. I work on the other end where I help people get off of drugs, but the people,
Well,
the
and
lawmakers
that's the point.
have absolutely no clue how to handle this. And I would say
They don't want to. They have
the best thing that they can do, the lawmakers could do, and this is so alien to them, right? First thing you do is you get rid of the criminality aspect and you decriminalize the drugs. And then with all that money that you spent enforcing the laws on something that is not shouldn't even really be a crime because it's a mental disorder, it's a real diagnosable problem, is spend all those resources on state funded rehabilitation and intensive psychotherapy. That's that.
now. How profitable would you say that would be for my private prison?
Absolutely none. It would actually be losing money.
And see, that's where I really start having the problem because I really like those profits from the private prison.
Yeah, and then you're losing money out
Well,
on other
I can tell
drugs,
you one
doctor visits for the heart
I can tell you
attacks.
one
Yeah.
thing that if you decriminalized heroin and all the other drugs, you would see a lot of these criminal organizations around the world start getting mad because it's well,
Now let's say that I make something like armored personnel carriers for civilian police departments. How would you
yeah.
say taking that crime element out of the street would affect my general profit margin? I'm looking to expand into both bullets and body armor, and I just want to know what the futures are.
uh, I don't know, man. Like,
You got to diversify in your weapons. I mean, you can't just get stuck in little niches. You got to sell everything that you can.
well,
I'm gonna kill them with
I mean,
sandwiches.
at what point, do we as we as Americans, realize that, at what, when, how does a government tell us what we can and cannot put into our body, regardless of what they feel about it, what society feels about it? At one point, do our inalienable rights come into play when we have regulatory agencies telling us what medicines we can and can't have, enforce a capitalist, a skewed capitalist,
Crony.
crony, of where you'll go in debt trying to go to doctors to try and get medications. At what point do we as Americans say that everything that they do to regulate what you can and can't put in your body, including medicine and therapies, do we have enough? Like, it's literally like I look at it as a human rights violation, saying that you can't. You know, I mean, it's kind of in a fucked up way. When does the government have the right to tell you what you can and can't put in your body? You know?
Well, and it comes to a point where it's not even the things that we know will work to our benefit we can't put in our body. If you have a child that's going into seizures right now and you've got CBD oil that will help stop that seizure, you cannot use it. Not because it doesn't work,
Well, yeah. I mean,
right? But
why do I have to go see a doctor, right? Why do I have to go pay a doctor who has a prescription pad? Why should I have to pay him $300 without insurance, plus whatever fees, plus going to the pharmacy? Why should I have to pay the doctor if I already know what medicine I need? Like,
Well, and like I mean, I understand the thing of oversight, and that we can't there's all sorts of reasons why, because we have quacks, and people will feed on your hope. Take this drug that'll cure cancer when you've got somebody that is dying. You'll do anything, you'll believe anything. So we have to keep that element from getting in, but there's just as much of a corrupt element that's involved in it now. People that have no intention of curing diseases.
that is true.
Right, and that's a problem. Look, there may be a chemical reason that people have addiction problems in all of that, but they're not looking into
There's
that.
another thing. There's another issue that's out there, in the medical field that I've known about for a while is insurance companies will not cover your medications if you're using a medication for off-label use, which in some of those cases, when you're using a medication for off-label use, we're starting to deal with hypothetical, not band-aids on disorders. We're dealing with cures in some cases.
Yeah, it's that, but that's the thing. Like when you go to the insurance company and they, and somebody, you have to start making that's what people are coming to current terms with now, a single payer system. When you have someone come, well, you're, that the psoriasis medicine that you're using is for this kind of psoriasis and not that kind of psoriasis. So we actually have to charge you, full price for it, a price that we make up. You have to look at them eventually, be like, wait a minute, why do we need you again?
Yeah.
Well, because you're not
Like
smart enough to
it's that
know
moment
what
in
you want.
Office Space when you're like, exactly, what do you do here again?
So
We could all.
you're not
No, go ahead.
smart
Go
enough
ahead.
to know you're not smart enough to know what you need.
Well, here, okay. Here's
They have to tell you that.
here's how smart the governing bodies are. Okay, I remember the last time in America that we dealt with the opioid crisis back in 2000, early mid 2000s, right? And they talked to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, Dr. Volkov, who is the only one who's doing real scientific studies on long-term effects on drugs in the brain here in the United States, right? And they asked on C-SPAN, right, how this was when we were dealing with the oxycodone crisis, right? And they asked in Congress, okay, or wherever the fuck they were, how this is just a very stupid. This is how stupid they are. How do we make oxycodone less addictive? And I'm like, what? That's like saying how do we? This is how stupid the people who are regulating the industry are. Like, how do we make heroin less addictive? Like, it's inevitable.
Maybe we can
It's
just get people to
inevitable.
stop using heroin.
Yeah.
Um, no, there comes a point, but you look at the people that are in charge, right? These are not smart or honorable people. When you say how many of you guys are doctors, right? No, no. How many of you are scientists? No scientists, no doctors, no scientists. How many of you were teachers? Also, No teachers. Cool, cool. You can go down those. How many of you are engineers, plumbers, electricians? How many of you guys were anything other than cutthroat politicians?
Yeah, that's all they know. They don't know.
Well,
They don't
that's
know it.
that's the reason. That's the reason that we can't seem to figure any of this shit out, because there's nobody that knows how to do anything here other than collect money. Like, it's not even like they're corrupt enough or evil enough that they're writing the legislation themselves. These corrupt companies write the legislation and get it to them, right? They don't even know what they're reading or signing. They're just there to collect a check and put some stamps on it. Like, you didn't write an evil you didn't write a contract on how to open up the drilling throughout the world into our oceans. The fossil fuels company wrote that and brought it to you. Right, and you just puppet along with it, but you're not even the quality of evil to come up with the plans yourselves.
They don't. They don't. Nobody wants to invest the manpower in the whatever in the ingenuity into having real solutions for our fucking problems. They just slapstick everything together, fucking sign off, and then be done with it.
Well, look, if I can't fix it by bombing it, I can't fix it.
Right? It's what
Burn it.
God forbid we actually look at a real solution. Jesus.
I go with the pool of people that are running the show, right? The 1% of the 1%. It's 2,000 people, right? And it's 2,000 people that have been inbreeding each other for like thousands of years.
Yeah,
I
my
don't think
great
there's such a
grandfather has
thing
been
with it.
telling countries to bomb each other for the last 400 years.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, when you look at any of the royal families, the power families, like, you guys have been doing each other's cousins, brothers, and sisters. Like, this is no wonder y'all are running the world into the ground. These are the kind of people that came up with mutual destruction. That's because you asked a guy, right? That's entire family lineage stems from the fact that they've been interbreeding for 1,000 years to run the world. Oh, well, if they shoot at us, then we kill everybody. Great plan, man. Great plan.
That voice, dude. Oh,
That's my go. That's a Gomer Pyle.
yeah. I was making a reference to my coworker yesterday. Like, we kind of put a Homer Simpson in the White House.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he does. I'm sure he comes out. He'll come out and say it. Like, and he knows that. Like, when everybody informs him by the end of the day, he knows whatever he said is stupid. But like Homer Simpson, he's oblivious to the fact, right? Which makes it that much more. Homer Simpson doesn't think he's a dumbass, right? It doesn't bother him no way, and that's exactly how Trump kind of wanders around, while also being in charge of the most powerful country in the world. I think he's much more like the governor in Blazing Saddles. I think that is fucking dead on.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't, I don't see any good things coming for our country if he's still there. Like,
Oh no, it's like, look, we got to get some of this stuff out of the way. Um, he's what you like every once in a while. You know how when you got little kids, eventually you have to let them run and skin their knee. We told them, look, if you hire this guy, it's not gonna work out. You keep hiring the alligator, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. It's gonna fuck it all up. We told you, and eventually you just have to let him go. Just let him run, right?
we told you he would stab somebody.
I told you that was hot. Right? You did it anyway. It's a learning experience, and that's exactly what we're getting with Trump. Is a learning experience, not just for us, but for the entire world. Look, some real tyrants and fascists, Nazi leaders, whatever you want to put it. It's been a while since we've seen it, like, up close and personal, and we have to kind of see that again to work through some of this.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If he gets impeached because of this Russian shit, which he probably won't. I mean, like, would Mike Pence and his fucking abortion agenda be better? Like, That's like a whole level of
Yeah,
fucking
but I mean,
weird.
at that point, we're really looking at what, a year and a half of Pence, and nobody's going to believe anything he says. The Republicans will be too busy running as far away from the Trump presidency as possible. Trump will go from having a united front
What
in the
is
Republican
does
Party to
anybody
nobody
does
answering his
does
calls.
anybody know what Trump's approval rating is right now?
It's over 50.
I think he said it was the greatest of any president ever.
Is that what?
Yeah, everything he does is the greatest.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I mean, I don't
just
even know
listen to him;
why.
he'll tell you. I mean,
Yeah, you know the answer to that. It was awesome, huge, huge. His
That's
numbers were
why.
huge.
That's why he's firing everybody who's coming after him, and everybody's quitting under his resigning.
Literally everyone. Well, I think it's a lot of people like support him on the outside and support what's going on the outside, right? And until they get in and see how fucked up it really is, they believe what they're saying. And like you believe, look, this is this is fake news. He does have it together. People aren't, you defended all this stuff,
Trump's
and then you start working there, and you get in the door, and you're like, oh wow,
Trump's
this
approval
really is a
rating is
bunch of fuck.
39%. It was 36, but it's at 39. That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, Bush and Obama's? I mean, I don't think
Just as
Obama
bad.
40 something.
probably better. I mean,
42.
got to be better than that.
Yeah, but I mean, 42. Like
That's like
that's
having a
not
Facebook
exactly
protest on Facebook.
I mean, we are going 42 out of 100, right? In what other universe is that like a
No,
good
we
deal?
did
If you
with
get
Trump
42 out of
numbers or Bush numbers, so it's like 41 out of 200 and missing some numbers. But hey, it's some good numbers, man.
Well, and we don't have numbers by how many drone strikes he's going on because oh my god, I cannot believe that in some insane world Trump is the one that gets to make the decision on people living or dying in the world, right? Like
I'm
he's
under the impression that he's killing more than Obama. That was kind of hard to do, but hey,
I
everyone
have
gets.
I have a sneaking, and this is just me. I have a sneaking suspicion that like they give him the button, but it doesn't actually go anywhere. So you just put up on the screen every couple of days, a terrorist gets blown up, make him feel good, so he gets it out of his system, right? But so that he doesn't get button anxious. And I'm hoping that somebody is smart enough to not be letting him in actual charge of anything.
Yeah.
Like life or death, you know what I'm saying? Please let us find out in the leaked dossiers that come out when y'all are fleeing the presidency like rats that he wasn't actually in charge of anything. I have faith, guys. I have faith.
I you know I don't I don't see anything that's going on with this whole investigation going well because it seems like the federal government's going after the FBI and everybody from the FBI is either getting fired or resigning. But this is not good. Like and
Anybody suicided lately?
no,
Yeah, I mean,
no,
it
but there
comes
was
to a
another guy who
certain.
resigned today as well.
Well, I think like they're going to keep resigning until there's nobody left, and that's the deal. Like you're not building up momentum behind it going in the other direction.
Like
He's building
You're
up a lot.
definitely not showing a unified
there's
front
there's
in
a
any
problem with
way,
all
shape, or
there's
form.
a problem with all your cabinet and all of everybody you've hired is resigning. Like there's a problem. Houston,
Look, man, when your A team is Jeff Sessions and Mike Pence, you are fucked.
Well, the tendency is it is
Like
more
when that's your
military industrial
crew, when
complex.
that's your when you're calling in those are the only two dudes that stayed with you. You are screwed.
but he called out Jeff
Everybody
Sessions.
that he
Remember,
hasn't.
he called out Jeff Sessions for coming out against
You
him.
know,
So
Yeah, but I think Jeff Sessions is happy with his power. He's the
he didn't have to do anything.
yeah, he can
It's
kind of
just
make up
ridiculous.
plans on how he'd love to invade California or something.
I
But
heard your
he's
skin
his
had oil.
entire
Can we invade?
They're a state in rebellion. That's what they
I
are.
always pictured like Jeff Sessions as like a closet pedophile.
I think he's just an
Uh huh.
angry Keebler. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he's that. Ugh.
No, he's compromised. That's why he's there. That's why he does nothing. Can't seem
Yeah.
to find pedos. Can't seem to find any, grand theft uranium with Hillary. No, I can't.
No, we are.
Oh,
No, but fuck, we can stop those tree hugging hippies in California. Bet you out there right now smoking weed. Bet you they are
that's
right
right.
now.
They're in rebellion anyway. So let's go get them.
More, well, okay, but more or less than Texas. Like, I think it's a balance thing. You know what I mean? Like, Texas is always in a little bit of a state of rebellion. I think they're just the liberal
Not like
version
it
of
used to be though.
Texas.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's still a lot of liberals now, man. I mean, it ain't what it used to be. Oh, yeah.
It's not as fucking
Hey,
it's not as fucking separatist as I would have liked, is what you were saying there.
yeah, I
Not
mean,
like we
I'm a
used to be. We're
Republican.
really dedicated to breaking the fuck off people.
I believe in the Republic of Texas, 1836 to 45. The rest of this is all crazy. I got no interest in it.
I agree. I agree. And it's one of those. Texas is our biggest producer of green energy at the moment. Think of that. Texas is our biggest producer of oil.
We do it all, man. We got oil and green energy. We're kicking all your butts. Yeah, you get out there in West Texas, man. There's windmills everywhere now, which is okay. I mean, there's nothing out there anyway. But
Yeah. That was the deal. Like, there wasn't. Let's just keep it the way it is. But yeah, I kind of see it as a balance thing. We didn't have a good balance.
hey, there's a lot of oil off the coast of California.
I know,
I mean,
we're looking for it now. They just
they just don't want to do it.
Bro,
They don't want to. And so, I mean, sooner or later, I think they're going to have to.
I think they do drill off. They were at one point. They were drilling off of there, and then they
Yeah.
stopped.
They test. Yeah, they stop because you guys run them out of business.
good. I might sleep a little better.
Fighting Governor Moonbeam.
Knowing it.
It does
Did
keep
did I lose Shell some money? Excellent.
I will say this: the California coast is oil free, and it's a lot cleaner than our coast.
Yeah,
But-
like, come on, like all of the Gulf of Mexico, a lot cleaner. The Gulf of Mexico is toxic.
It's an industrial pond. That's what we've turned it into. Yeah.
And it used to be, fuck, man. When I was even when I was a kid, man, we used to go to Corpus Christi, like amazing seafood, like just the coast in Texas was absolutely like amazing. It was beautiful, and that had already been, had quite a few spills and shit. And now it's wrecked. And like the hurricanes made it even worse because it flooded all of those Superfund sites and have now like drained it into it's a nightmare.
Yeah, you got to remember you sprayed all that. What was that? That BP oil spill, man. That stuff's still swirling around out in the Gulf, man. It ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
That shit's nasty.
Fun. Nah. We just got it. It's just not a good energy source for us. We gave it a go. It got us where we are, but we got to move on. This is not working. Yeah, there comes a certain point where just we ran to the as far as fossil fuels are going to take us without us killing ourselves.
Yeah, and you know what I do see a lot of the alternate energy cars becoming big, at least on this side of the coast. I do see that happening. So it's a learning. I guess it's a learning curve. It only took them 20 years to figure out that hydrogen fuel cells were a real solution to a real alternative.
Oh, it's taken us like 20,000. It's taken us like 20,000 years to realize that we can use the power to the sun. So
Yeah.
don't feel bad. Fuck, we are not killing it, guys.
You know what I thought of?
And it's sad.
You know what I thought of last?
The sun is like right there, and it's taken us 20,000 years to figure. My favorite is like the picture of like every oil field opening that you've ever seen, right? And everybody that's there, the workers, the guys that are cutting it with the scissors and everything, are always wearing these sunglasses, right? And I've always thought that it was so ironic that they're opening an oil field while trying to keep from being like burnt by the sun, like right in front of it. We need to drill thousands of feet under the ground, completely wreck this place, rather than use the energy that's literally burning my face right now.
Yeah.
It's so bright I can't
Oh,
see out here in the desert without
did
it.
you hear about those the new high output high? It's just brand new. They have high output solar cells that they can incorporate into glass now without the barium and the other chemical that you need for it to create the field the photovoltaic cell. It's got much higher output. So like I think the future of solar is once this hits like the broader markets besides the research lab, that we might see higher output solar cells in inside of windows on normal houses.
That would be nice.
I just want to know how well they hold up in a hurricane.
Oh
Is the solar panel?
With that, but that's the deal with the solar panels. Like when we were in Puerto Rico, you just fold it up and put it inside of the house. Like a lot of putting them somewhere safe in a secured structure is fine. And they most likely like the chances of them being hurt or destroyed in a safe location is really small. We're guaranteed the electrical system is going to go down, and that's not going to come on for months. So with a solar generator, if I pack them up, or even if one of them gets damaged, I just have to get one solar panel and I'm back up and ready to go. Where it can take months and months and months to figure out, repair the transformers and try to fix a electrical system. Solar is way better, way more reliable.
yeah, if you got the right setup too, you could have that. You could have your electricity going on all day long. You got enough to get.
Oh yeah, we during the storm we had power. We were able to broadcast and all of that. We never, we don't lose power during the storm. After the storm, we got emergency power to use when we got places. It was just 1,000 times better. And then although we did bring like a generator with us for emergencies, we never needed to use it, so we never needed to get the constant flow of gas to run it.
Yeah. Did I lose everybody?
Hello.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost everybody for a second.
No, I'm still breathing.
Oh god.
Not so deep yet, but I'm breathing.
I'll make us have to drop you if we hear any snoring over there.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the Texas bombings, did we?
No.
Well,
That's some fucking crazy shit, like, hey, now we're gonna, like, I remember Alex Jones was like talking about this, like, yeah, I kind of listened to him on the DL to see what kind of crazy shit he's gonna say, but like he did have like a valid point, like, how people were like, oh, like, we're get rid of the guns because the guns are killing people. Now he's like, well, now you're gonna have to regulate bombs. You're gonna have to regulate chemicals.
well, it's kind of weird. You can't use the good guy with a gun argument because what is it? A good guy with a bomb? Going to take out the other guy? I mean, that doesn't even sound right?
They done it with 50-pound bag of manure.
Well, what's funny is that
Drop it from a helicopter.
I used to say this. I used to say this with a lot of people who aren't real educated on chemistry. I was like, man, to make a combustible, to make a bomb is very easy from the stuff that you can get in your own house. Like there's a lot of very combustible shit, more so than you would think in your own home without too much reverse engineering.
All you need is baking soda and water. The more baking soda, the more
Oh,
combustible.
I'm talking more along ammonium nitrate and fuel combustion or stuff that you can make around your home without too much effort. But yeah, I mean, ammonium nitrate is very easily accessible, and you don't have to use too much of an accelerant. I think it's like zinc oxide and shit. But yeah,
Drano.
yeah,
Diesel.
diesel, yeah.
That's it for Amfo.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and then it comes to the point where, like, well, how much more regulation can you have? Because some of these chemicals that we need are for, some of them are everyday household things. I mean, so what's this?
Well, that's the beauty of it, in a way. What the problem I'm having with that story is they show a picture of this kid, 23-year-old kid, and then they show the camera footage from the stores he's coming in and out of, and it don't look like a kid. And well, he was wearing his body doesn't look right. Anyway,
I don't know, man. It
it,
like what happened with this guy. Like, I really don't think that the Austin bombings were done by one guy. I really don't.
No, it was somebody his age, I guess. I didn't really catch up a whole lot with it.
Well, he blew himself up, but I don't.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
he sure had a lot of bombs. I mean, he cranked them out fast. He had as many bombs as the Unabomber in like a couple weeks.
And knew where to send them, how to send them.
Did we lose Terrence?
Let me see the
Oh
screen.
yeah, we did lose Terrence.
I think so, yeah. His ISP said enough of you.
Yeah, we lost Terrence.
I'm sure they have some bad time with their internet around there where he is. There's probably not much of it. Couldn't say.
But yeah, I guess we're talking on the back.
It's good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's good. It's over. Yeah, it's good. It's over. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
random. It doesn't seem to have any meaning. Not even any political motive. Just that's what doesn't make sense. Like, so why do it? You're angry, but to kill people.
It
I
was
mean, I don't
random
know.
too. It was more. I don't think. Only to the mind behind it, there might have been a purpose, but I don't. If this was a group, I mean, we might be able to get bits and pieces, but this is.
He blew everything up. I'm sure his ID survived, right?
Oh yeah, I heard there was like a 25-minute confession tape though. I heard about that. Uh, what if we're dealing with a guy with a mentality? Remember that movie, The 12 Monkeys? Remember with Brad Pitt? The chaos, where he introduced
No.
where he introduces a virus into the population just to see just as an experiment or to see the chaos. What if we're dealing with that kind of mentality where the guy's getting off on just random targets? I mean, that's what we could be dealing with. It could be no ideology behind what he was doing. And that's the kind of that's more one of the more dangerous situations that I hate to say it with all the lawmakers. You can't protect yourself against crazy, you know. You really can't, you know.
No, that's true.
Um,
They don't have to stop. They don't have to listen to you.
you
No.
can't argue with crazy, you know.
Yeah, it just is what it is. It's just like, okay.
Oh god.
It's just the chaos. To me, it's the chaos that they cause. That's the bad thing. Because you're not organized, not doing what you're supposed to, and being smart, that has a consequence.
Yeah, I just
Not a good, not a good one either.
could this be like a government psyop? Possibly.
Yeah,
Oh,
likely.
Possibly. We'll never know.
Oh, hey, no longer guns. We're not going to worry about guns anymore. We're going to worry about bombs and Trump.
uh,
That's how they're looking at it. Get the attention off of Trump. Get the attention off the school. Yeah, so something different. What's in the news this week? Yeah.
Yeah, they're throwing a lot of distractions out there. Anything to get you off of the thieving that's going on with the Clinton Foundation, and emails, and collusion, and Russians,
I think everybody should just. I think
crime.
we should just pull. We should just pull like an Iceland revolution where we just round them up and throw them all in jail. Like everybody, like non-discriminatory.
Yeah.
Like like hey, like you were affiliated with this party and you knew about it. You're going to jail as well. And don't worry about it. We'll make it better because we'll just put you all in jail and that'll be the end of it. And America can turn itself around better without you guys. Well, that's literally what Iceland did. They arrested all the bankers and they arrested all the politicians, and their economy was doing 300% better.
It's amazing how that works. Huh? To get these crooks off your back.
Yeah, you don't have somebody have you putting you in more debt.
Ay.
What do you guys think about this Lamo dude? Lamo laughing my ass off. Is that how you say it?
What?
Lamo, Lamo, the guy who snitched on Chelsea Manning. Right?
Oh, yes. So,
Yeah, let's sit
yeah,
around on that a
he's
bit there.
okay.
Explain
This
people.
is different. There was a guy who turned in Chelsea Manning to the authorities, and he was a fellow black hat, and he was weird. Okay, so he had a friendship with Chelsea Manning, and when he turned in Chelsea, time and time again, and I watched this on a few documentaries. He did have remorse for what he did and wished that he didn't do it. And I really do believe what happened a couple of days ago with him. I think I think it was a suicide. I really do. I really think it was a suicide.
You think it was a guilt trip?
Yep, I really do.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really following his logic here. On one side, he was hacking into the New York Times, and then on the other side, he's turning somebody in. There's a weird logic there. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, and having a friendship with this individual, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Manning messed up to start with, was telling somebody that he'd done something that actually happened.
oh, he could have left it anonymous. I mean,
Yeah. He apparently felt close enough and comfortable enough with this one person to say something and realize that was a mistake.
yeah. What else have we got going on?
Fedbook. If people only knew how much Fedbook actually collected about them, that is hilarious. And it'll snitch on you. You know, there's 6 blocks that shows you who are your closest on your friends list, or telling you who you hang out with the most, who you're located beside, who you're sitting next to the most.
Oh yeah, that
Ugh.
Facebook. Yeah, when you enable that one, that was another reason. Delete your Facebook. When you enable that nearby friends thing, you are enabling another function that's oh, that's creepy. That'll that does enable. Yeah, where it's. Oh my god, I can't. So there's so much talking going on in the background.
He's uploading his data. I see it. You see all that, right? Your phone calls, your text
Yeah,
messages.
yeah.
Yeah. How many condom wrappers you used that day?
Oh god, what is Facebook stock
Yeah.
doing right now? Oh, Facebook
That's
stock
it.
is crashing. I'm sorry, Mark Zuckerberg.
You had that coming.
That's not enough.
He's had that coming a long time. And he's regretting it now.
Well, I think Mark will. I think Mark Zuckerberg will start. I like his apology wasn't sincere. Like, he says that he apologized, onto the thing, but like, here's the deal, dude. Like, you could do the crime. Let's say I murdered somebody, but you say you're sorry afterward. You still murdered somebody, so there has to be consequences for this. Like, there has to be some real world consequences. You can't. I don't care if you're a social media giant, you're the biggest one in the world. You have to fight. There has to be some consequences for some of the shit. And I don't think that paying a fine or whatever. I think some real jails. Like any one of us would have pulled what they pulled, and our asses would have been in fucking jail for 30 fucking years.
Yeah. Oh, he'll have
I
to
mean,
mail everybody $15 a piece like they did in the movie The Jerk.
But this is why we're encouraging
well,
people on this show to delete your face.
who else could call his users dumb effers and get away with it?
Yeah, he does.
I
He
mean,
does that.
it's stunning, man. Yeah, it's like, and then people still go to Facebook and including my stupid ass.
I mean, the more you
Here's
here's the deal with a lot of users that are thinking um, about leaving Facebook. The more you get disintegrated with Facebook, and you move on to other social media, like moving on to Instagram, you're still under the Facebook bubble. We have, you know what I mean. Getting onto the more you move off of these, the further you are from that ball and chain that keeps you onto these things.
Any website you visit that has a Facebook ad, I notice they're doing a little YouTube advertising as well.
Yeah.
Hey, here's another reason Facebook was down. They got a downgrade from one of the a ratings company.
Oh yeah, one of their investors completely withdrew their money in advertisements.
And it's not helping that Zuckerberg himself is dumping stock, as it goes down. I mean, that's a good CEO for you, looking out for the company.
Dude, Zuckerberg is only looking out for numero uno and his Asian wife. I'm sorry.
Well, at least he is braving it. Ajit Pai, has anybody seen him lately?
No.
It might be safe for him to poke his head out his hole wherever he is now. Everybody's looking at Zuckerberg.
Wait, let me see where Ajit is doing. Ajit.
I mean, what a coward!
Here we go.
Man.
Yeah, he's still in the news. Ajit Pai says net neutrality was the top threat to broadband deployment. Ajit Pai is still blaming everything on net neutrality. Man, he's one of those people that I just like to punch in the face. Like, hey,
I did it, but it's not my fault, guys.
I'm sorry, but I have to punch you in the face because you're fucking retarded.
How much of that is going to be involved with Facebook? I mean, net neutrality may end April 23rd of this year.
There's states have adopted. A lot of states have adopted individual or voted for more comprehensive statewide net neutrality laws, which I think is a step in the right direction. But until we get like a federal law where we make it the law of the land, so nobody can weasel the way around it, that would be a better solution. But I don't think that anything that Congress has come up with is a better solution. In fact, there were a lot of people that were making laws onto equivalent net neutrality laws, still favored the big company, the big ISP companies. So I don't know. I believe that what states are doing now individually are a step in the right direction, but I don't have any faith that that's not true. There were people within the FCC that were completely against what Ajit Pai was doing. What's that with the black lady who's one of the head? She was in the one of the 4 or 6 people that voted. She is not on terms with Ajit Pai, but yet again, lady, like you aren't with a jit pipe, but you didn't resign from your position. You know what I mean? Like that would have set a bigger stake. I would have done that if I didn't agree with what the FCC was doing. I would have resigned. You know?
Uh,
Yeah, it
sounds
comes.
like Facebook may have a lot of disgruntled employees. Maybe a bunch of the employees are replaced by the artificial intelligence bots, which are sifting through the algorithms, deciding if you needed to be banned or not.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh my God, my just fighting this cold. Fighting it. It's like literally just like my nose is like running like a faucet.
Tampons will fix that.
Yeah, something like that. um, yeah, I think we'll run into the next 10 minutes, and I think then we'll call it for a show. Um, but I do see. I don't know. As far as far as Facebook is concerned, I believe that when their stock prices start getting below a certain point, is that then they'll start having to do the company layoffs, and hitting them where it hurts is in their wallet. I've been saying this for a while. I don't see Facebook around for a long time. I never predicted that the Cambridge the Cambridge Analytics things would happen. That they just kind of like shot themselves in the foot. But I knew things were like this that are out there. But hey, if you want to continue to be a Facebook user and have all of your user data monitored in ways that you don't completely understand, stay on the platform. But we are encouraging people to just permanently delete your Facebook, and we do have a Discord channel. You can go there. Another alternative is Twitter. I mean, it's not as bad. I mean, they're still doing this.
Now they're banning people too. There's got to be something other than Twitter.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there are places, but but as far as like functionality and what it can and can't do, the closest equivalent would be Twitter. I mean, you can go on MeWe all day long, but like it's not
No,
it.
that's
And you
frustrating.
can get on
I gave up on that.
Minds.com. You can get on the frog one, the the one that something AI. What the hell is that one?
Gab.
Gab. Yeah, but you can't. Yeah,
.ai.
Gab. Um, I mean, Snapchat is always been another alternative, but Snapchat is all video based still, which a lot of people.
Yeah, and they're doing the face technology as well. They got your diagrams as soon as you do the filters. I mean, we're so used to using filters. We don't even like how we look that we're having to use filters to impress others as well. It's it's just as much of a fake alternative as Facebook, really.
Well, I guess in the short term, we just got to worry about, like at least getting off of this social media platform. I mean, you could always go to like VK. VK is another alternative. It is as close to Facebook as you can get. Like, to be real, like it's pretty damn close, and it's Russian based. Uh, you will find a lot of English users. You literally don't even need an email to set up an account. You can set it up with a phone number. They don't have common naming conventions. Is your user data probably gone through? As with any big social media platform, it probably is, but I wouldn't say to the extent of what Facebook was doing. Um, Most likely,
Just
well,
yeah,
because it's not a bigger platform. I mean, it has to be 100 million users, but it doesn't have like it never had like the billion users that Facebook had.
You can always go a step further and ask your cell phone provider company to not give you a phone that has Facebook already installed, just to keep any of that data from being used anyways, because they've already said, hey, we're getting your data even if you don't have it. This is how they're getting it as well, because it's already on your phone.
I guess Martha Cleaves
oh yeah.
says, okay, you're on Facebook, and using Facebook, and you're telling people to delete you. In essence, yes,
That's right.
actually we are, Martha. We are on several different social media platforms, and we have our own website. So we don't need to be fully integrated with Facebook. We have only used it as a tool over the years to help get our message out there. And we will.
Yes, we're protesting Facebook on Facebook. We have done this for a while now,
We've
and
got
they don't like it.
we have had cease and desist messages to get rid of unpublish our Facebook page. So we are expecting a unpublishing of our page any day now. So it's only a matter of
Yeah, if we don't do it, they're going to do it for us.
yeah.
So they're going to have to do it for us.
There you go. That's what I look at.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
mean,
Tyler.
it's hard. It's hard for people to separate from being on the social media. But if you look on the description of the video, we do stream to other places.
Look at it when you download the app. And it's going to tell you, we need your friends, your photos, your contacts. We need all this.
Speaking of which,
We need your biometrics. We know you by your scroll. We know you by your heart rate. We know what time you break when. We know what time you have breakfast and what you have. That's Facebook.
speaking of which, we need to have a real solution for our YouTube channel because, like, man, I need to start streaming back there. Like, should we name it? Should we name it Anonymous Worldwide Part 2 or something? I don't know. Like the continuation, and wait until YouTube takes away my YouTube channel.
No, anonymous, uncensored, and see if they'll censor us.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That's a dare.
But yeah,
Until I hate Fairyland.
we have explored options, of hosting our own site and just streaming to there, but we did a cost evaluation. It would cost us. We wouldn't be cheap. So,
No, yeah.
well, no, the biggest thing would be storage and the connection speeds going out. So it would be, we're talking into the several hundreds of dollars a month. So yes, that's not with our income.
Or low budget production.
Yeah.
It has to be free or we don't use it.
I'll be the product for free.
I mean, yeah, you can. Yeah. I'm not going to go into
Open source too.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. Well, I mean, we are using open source
Preferably.
stuff here, but like Nginx, an Nginx server would probably be more ideal, a more ideal type of server to start streaming on with RTMP, but you can't get around the costs. Unless you got like some servers and like a data center like in your room, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, those are technical to build.
Yeah.
You got to have everything rated.
I mean, I know a guy, but he doesn't have any like hosting capabilities and shit like that. So
You got to at least have a layer 7 rated RAID 2 towers. It's insane, the networking.
it's not cheap. But I was expecting those kind of comments to come by.
Yes, comments. I would love to hear some questions.
So what is this?
Other than why are you using Facebook to protest Facebook?
Chris Lima says, what is this about exactly? Chris, we were talking about the Facebook scandal and essentially what was happening and where we're kind of directing people to go for the last 3 hours, talking about everything from politics to the new FOSTA bill, and what else did we talk about? Like, A lot of
Trash Facebook.
trash Facebook.
Yeah, that's job one. You got to hit them while they're down. I mean, we're not beneath doing that. Using their own platform. I mean,
Using our
hey, they do it to you, right? They use your data against you. So why shouldn't
well,
you
that's the thing is like
use it
I
against
I
them?
honestly feel I honestly feel because they banned Wiley, that the co-founder of Cambridge Analytics, they banned him from Instagram and uh, uh, Facebook. So now I think like, is hashtag delete Facebook, is that getting shadow banned as well? So like people are typing hashtag delete Facebook or delete Facebook. Now is that not going around on the Facebook platform? I do believe so, because I honestly believe if you are a fully integrated Facebook user, you are not seeing this come up in your Facebook news feeds.
Well, people are getting
Okay.
wise to their whole program. They're tired of getting the same old crap on their feed, or stuff that's delayed a day, or all their usual crap. What's
Let
going
me do
on?
an experiment. Hold on, let me do an experiment. Okay, I'm using a mobile application, right? I'm using a mobile application, and I'm going to type in pound delete face Facebook now. Facebook spelled the Facebook wrong. Yeah, there we go. Hashtag delete Facebook. There is one with 5,000 views. There is a video that pops up. Let me see what else pops up.
Damn.
Not as much stuff as you would think. Wow.
More on Twitter. Yeah, I've had a few people tell me like, "Oh, yo, what's going on with Facebook?" Like they haven't heard on mainstream.
Yeah,
It's like for real.
wow. The content views on hashtag delete Facebook are only in the less than 5,000 viewer range. We're talking videos. Now let's go to public postings. Wow.
Oh, well.
Yeah, only in thousands. So I do believe that there is an algorithm on right now that is combating hashtag delete Facebook. Now we've dealt with other forms of hashtag problems with Facebook censoring hashtags like hashtag op Myanmar. They because we made it go viral. It was like, remember that when it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we couldn't post op Myanmar. You couldn't even send it in a message on Messenger. So if you are a fully integrated, Facebook user and not looking for news outside of the social media website, you're probably not going to see any of this talk. But it is big on, especially on Twitter, delete Facebook and hashtag delete Facebook now. Over what's going on with this Cambridge Analytics stuff. Now, if it comes to light that the FTC gets involved with the 2011 data shit, we're going to see probably some because anyway, regardless of what happens, somebody's going to jail for a lot of this shit. And I know
You
that
think I'll see another check, Tyler?
what
You think I'll see another check?
another check.
Yeah.
You got a check?
Yeah, I got a check.
What?
$15.
Oh,
Yeah,
for class action. Well,
from where we went at Facebook over that, and it was after 2011 when we went at it.
I mean, I do.
I'd like to see $15 million. I can give us a good show for $15 million. A good
Well,
studio. Shit. What do you think?
what?
Build us a nice platform.
Yeah, I mean, if they've snuffed the hashtag out and there's traffic's dropping and they're still having all this trouble, I mean, they're they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, you snuffed out the word, at least on your platform, but obviously the word's getting out and people are leaving.
Oh, Chris Lima says
Why?
what makes
Why
Chris
should?
Lima says what makes the Facebook a scandal, and what will delete how and delete Facebook do to make a difference? And correct, this is the first time I've seen this on my Facebook. Well, basically all of your user data was sent over to Cambridge Analytics, 50 million users. Everything from anything you could incorporate into the Facebook app went to a political a company that deals with political data and skews around political campaigns, and it's tied into with the Trump campaign, and all of your user data was taken from you unwillingly into a company called Cambridge Analytics. Now, what the data would incorporate would be anything you could think of, anything that you've done in the last anything that you've done since you've opened up an account. So, um, I don't know.
Anything at all? Your games you play that
And
you
here's the thing: is Facebook
Farmville.
is saying that they didn't know this was going on. Now, they knew it because the CEO of WhatsApp back in 2013 said that you guys need to like. This was even before the Cambridge Analytics was around. He's been telling, Mark Zuckerberg and all of them, you need to be on top of shit like this. You need to walk away and not do shit like this. And even the uh, Facebook came over to Cambridge Analytics in 2015 and told them to delete the user data. So it's like I imagine there was they're making it. Facebook is making it look like Cambridge Analytics stole the fucking data or took it unknowingly from Facebook. That's not the case. I believe there was a set value price for the user data, and that's something that's going to lead into a criminal investigation.
And we didn't hear from Zuckerberg for about 24 hours either.
So, in other words, this application took my personal information without your consent. Correct, and Facebook is saying that it was in the user and the. I did hear this story come out that it was in the user terms of service or some shit like that, but
Yeah,
I highly doubt it.
they changed it so much. You're not sitting there reading it. You already have it. They know they already got you hooked. Why do you care what they're doing?
Well, the Cambridge.
Yeah, it's not like you have anything to hide, is it?
Well, I mean,
Ah,
here's the deal: is that Facebook
how
stock,
much porn you're
Facebook
watching?
stock,
How often you cheat?
Well,
Facebook lost
How often you lie?
$60 billion in 2 days over this shit, and their stock is still falling. That is telling me one thing: is that they know the criminal investigations are coming up. That is the next round of Facebook.
yeah.
Game
It's
over.
game over.
Well, it's going to hurt them.
I'm sorry.
Let them see me.
Negative growth. I mean, yeah. They're going to take a big hit here.
And,
All the speculative value, and things you thought they might do. Well, that ain't going to happen.
Goodbye ID
I'm, yeah,
2020.
yeah. I'm,
You're not getting our
I'm
biometrics.
sorry, but Mark Zuckerberg saying that I'm sorry isn't enough.
It's
Yeah,
not.
he
No.
said that about the psychological experiment.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I ruined your relationship.
Yeah. That's his. That's what he says about everything.
Yeah, you can't just say that you're sorry. You,
That's what he's sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're sorry you got caught. You're sorry that there was a whistleblower. In fact, you're so sorry that one of the co-founders that is not with the company anymore blew the whistle on it, and you deleted his Facebook account and his Instagram account, saying he violated their terms of service, which is like this fucking like mind twist game where like you're putting the blame on somebody else who's not even with the company at the time.
Yeah, it's called accountability. Own up to your shit, dude.
Hey, for me, well, it's like when he was teaming up with the Chinese, get their censorship, which is essentially the same thing coming to our way now. That's when he knew where he stood. He's a control freak, and he wants to tell you what to do.
He's got to stop this before he gets out.
Well, you remember, here's the creepy part is that even when you're on Instagram and programs like WhatsApp, which are supposed to have end-to-end encryption. Even Snowden pointed this out on WhatsApp, on which is another Facebook company, something that they incorporated into, is that your data is not secure on those platforms. Like even on WhatsApp,
No.
Facebook deliberately put in a backdoor access to it. So
So yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
what do you owe Mark Zuckerberg? Right? Nothing. That's what you owe. What do you owe him? A big, the same thing my grandpappy would have done, a kick in the ass
yeah,
with
I mean,
his
if you're
dusty
if
boot.
you're an
That's what he needs.
yeah, if you're an investor,
That's the
sell
only
your
thing
stock.
free was a kick in the
If
ass.
you're an investor, sell your Facebook stock. If you're really concerned about it, if you wanna make a political stance against it, get off of Facebook.
Yeah. If you have to
Yeah, it's like away from Windows
remove the
and Bill
app,
Gates. Use Linux. Do it.
just remove the Facebook app
Well,
and re-download it and read what you got to accept in order to have it.
Facebook gives this illusion that they care about your data sets, and over the years they've done it time and time again. Remember when Facebook introduced Tor, the Tor Access Facebook 2? Remember Facebook Core,
Yeah.
Facebook Core,
That
Oh yeah.
story.
Facebook Core.onion, and then they said they allowed us to have fully anonymized, not fully, but for the not fully, but more anonymized data sets that we don't have to really identify how we're getting into Facebook. Okay, we might be in the same social media account, but we don't have to really identify where we're logging into it. Okay, Facebook started to distance itself from that. If you use Facebook Core now, I haven't used it in a while, but I remember the last time I tried using it, it locked me out of my own
Yeah.
account
Yep.
for suspicious activity. Now
Same here.
yeah,
It's a
it's a
trick.
trick.
It's a bullshit.
Yeah, and then Facebook not only do they want you to have the illusion that they don't want. Remember, they created their own VPN, which is like even the more scary shit. So you're gonna do malicious shit so they can sell it off to some other place. Thinking, I don't know. I think it's all more of a social experiment of how well they can deceive the end user and sell your user data off to somewhere else for some political campaign.
Facebook was a CIA creation for a facial recognition database. That's how it started.
Voice
From the
recognition,
beginning. From the beginning.
health recognition, all of it, man. All of it. It's gonna take over. If it don't stop now, it's gonna take over banks.
And it
Take over
disturbs me.
healthcare.
It really disturbs me that some of our viewers haven't heard of the delete Facebook now and this whole Cambridge Analytic things, because the reason you're not seeing it is because
They ain't
they're
pushing
not
it.
they're not allowing you to see this
Uh,
on Facebook. You might see articles, news here, left, and right, but I just did a quick skim search on hashtag delete Facebook or delete Facebook now, and you're only getting
what
thousands.
search engine is that? Where are you
I'm
seeing
using
that?
Facebook's internal search engine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're scrubbing it internally.
Yeah,
Well, that's why you have to go to other. I mean, right there, that tells you what you have to do. You have to get other feeds,
or you have to get off of
and
Facebook. You have to go to
listen.
Facebook and actually.
You have to get off of
Facebook.
Facebook. You can't. It's like
Google,
watching CNN. You can't
DuckDuckGo.
watch CNN and MSNBC all day. You'd be fucked up.
Yeah.
Same thing. Get off of Facebook, man. If you're watching that shit all day long, you're fucked up. You're not seeing it.
This is
You're only seeing down the hallway.
I mean, there's been a reason why we've been streaming to multiple places all over multiple social media sites. I mean, we're not at one point, we were fully ingrained in the Facebook shit, but I've been telling other people within the activists and a non-community, you need to get off of this. You need to stop integrating all of your shit into this. it's not a platform that's going to be around forever. And in fact, it doesn't even work in your favor because it's all logged and sent to the government.
Yeah, they have all your dick
You should
pic
never put all your
photos.
eggs in one basket. I mean, if you're a content producer, which is how pretty much all this started, you can't be treated this way. You can't have your content limited because then you're going to leave. I mean, so they're doing it to themselves. That's what amazes me. It's just like, so how do you build your traffic if you run off all your traffic
Yeah,
producers?
the content
That don't make
the
sense.
content creators, are this is the same for a while. Yeah, they're pushing away the content creators, and the way that we know, and I've said this for months, is that Facebook is in complete decline. Is that all that you're seeing now, or you will be seeing when it gets really bad, is all you're going to see is commercials. All the content creators are gone. All you're seeing is commercials and advertisements.
Yeah, somebody's
Yeah,
baby pictures, family photos. That's what they want. They don't want the creativity. They don't want that. They want your family photos.
Well, I mean,
they want you.
before
You
you delete your Facebook, you can delete your whole. You can download all of your Facebook, all your Facebook profile. Now, if that includes all of your pictures that you've uploaded since the beginning of time, like I'm not positive, so I don't know, but you might wanna backtrack and take all those photos and save them on a local storage device.
And if you need to, use the Facebook as 10 because each photo you don't remove will start appearing on the Facebook as 10. If you guys remember that.
Yeah.
Little experiment I did when Facebook is 10 come out. I was like, well, I don't want this photo in this video. I'll just remove this photo from the album. But it re-added a photo for me.
Yeah, that's the thing is that
So
that's
it
yeah
just,
that's the thing is that even if you completely delete your Facebook, the space holder is still there.
yeah, yeah, they still have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a quick document for any psychologist, FBI, and medical doctor, whoever needs to know what your issues are, because these whatever issues they find against you, they're going to hold against your kid.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Don't I might sound crazy now, a little bullshitty, but hey, it's a real story.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing now.
you're another conspiracy theorist. You know,
Yeah,
the problem is they're not theories anymore. These are actual conspiracies. Yeah, it's one thing
yeah,
it's one thing to think it, but then you say, hey, wait a minute, everybody's noticing that the same thing's going on, so it's probably happening.
Yeah, you know how I even know that Facebook is in decline. Like, the guy owner from Shark Tank said that he probably is one of the larger investors into Facebook, right? And uh, he said that he wanted to keep Facebook alive, and on the on the article where he was talking about the user content, he still thinks or is promoting that there's 2.2 billion users on Facebook. I hate to say this, but it's not 2.2 billion users anymore. It's more like 500. It's like more like 550 million now. So the billion users is not. It's not a real number anymore. In fact, I would say probably in the last day or so, I don't know how many people they've lost that have deleted they have deleted their profiles. So who knows?
give it a week or two. We'll see how many of those people rebuild those profiles. I had that issue too. They kicked me out. I would immediately go back and rebuild a profile because that's why I'm serious. This is where I knew everybody at. Yeah, it'll get you. You don't even realize it's getting you until you're gone for that week. I don't have anybody over here liking my pictures. I feel bad.
Well, it's like
After a month, you're starting to realize why was I posting all of those pictures? All these people seeing this much of my face, my body, my kids, my home. You know, who else is looking at my home, my kids' pictures, my body, my wife's
It,
body?
the criminal next door. He's
Yeah.
checking in.
Oh, we're going on vacation today. Boom. There, 5 minutes
Dude,
after you go, and your door's getting kicked in, flapping in the wind all weekend.
I don't know.
so what is holding back some .com or really anybody else from setting up a system like Facebook? I mean, it's not to me. It's not like it's that advanced. I don't really
You
see
know what?
what is
You know
the thing
what? You
doing.
know what would be a billion-dollar idea for Facebook if it really wanted to, reinvent itself after all the court cases, is set up a sister company that's kind of like Facebook with like a completely different staff, but the investors are all still the same people in the background. Remove all of the bullshit that analyzes all the data in the background, and just call it something else. That would be like the kind of like reinvent yourself, but it's the same thing. You know.
I
Yeah,
thought that was what cookies was.
No, it wouldn't be. It would
It
be.
scattered that
It
data.
would be. Like VK. VK is like the closest equivalent you will find to a Facebook platform. Like it's like even the colors are very similar. The live buttons are similar. The groups are similar. I mean, the in the background, when you go own pages, or you would call them communities, it's the categories are a little different, but it is the closest thing you got. Um, but I do feel, if Facebook's only backup solution is all of their applications that they have developed, or they don't develop shit, they fucking buy it from people. What they do is they'll have somebody with
yeah.
a really good app, and then they'll either buy it from them, or they'll get the guy to work for the company and then acquire it in the process. Like the Facebook like button wasn't created by Facebook; they actually bought it from somebody. Believe it or not, you didn't know that?
No,
Yeah.
but it makes sense. I mean, if you've gotten all that fake money available, once like you've pumped up Facebook to like say where it is, you've got plenty of money to go buy some things. Yeah,
If their only solution is Instagram, then they're fucked. I'm sorry.
That's just more picture gathering of your family. Hey, I'm gonna put these on my magazine and sell your family, sell my shit.
What I've been telling you is that a lot of you, okay, Instagram is like social media with pictures. Okay, then you got Snapchat, which the millennials are moving towards that platform because it's a video-based platform. I've been saying this for a while, is that users don't want another. Uh, they want fully integrated video platform. I'm sorry, that's just what people want. Um, and in a lot of ways, Facebook has failed to meet the standard, what a lot of the users want, in the aspect that it's not always user friendly to set up a lot of these things on the back end. Can you do it with little or no knowledge? Yes, but not every user can it be tailored to their needs. Um, I don't see. I mean, I have heard of back end talks where Facebook was talking about trying to acquire Snapchat, but I don't think like something like that's going to happen unless they buy them out on stock shareholds.
hmm.
No, really, it's up to the user about how they use their internet. You don't want to tell everybody where you live. You don't want to sit here and tell them
Well,
when
yeah,
you're going to work.
here's a big selling point, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers that are viewing us haven't been through this. If you're an activist, or if you are in the hacktivist community, or you deal with some controversial issues that a lot of people don't talk about on social media platforms, specifically on Facebook, you will be asked to identify who you are by using government issue IDs, pictures of yourself, verified phone numbers, verify. There's too many layers of why should. Okay, here's a bigger issue. Why should you have to identify who you are on a social media platform? If I want to be Robert, or I want to be, or Ada, or I want to be a man, or I want my screen name to not represent who I am. Why should I not be able to do that? There's just and why should I have to show a social media platform a form of government issued identification? Why should I have to do that?
Yeah. Oh, why do you have to display your address?
Do you?
Yeah, on Facebook. Oh yeah, you have. I've got that message many times. We need you to display your address. No, I'm good. Mm. We need you. We need a clear face photo so your
I've
friends
had
can
to I've
find
had
you.
to do that with the photos on an account where I've had to take a picture of holding my identification with a picture of myself and a personalized note that they told me to write out with the date and everything. This is
God.
ridiculous. Yeah, this is the
They
most
want to see how
ridiculous
much
shit.
of the hoop you're going to jump through. And they'll take your email too. We've discussed that, haven't we? How they hijacked your email and deleted your Facebook for you.
I don't know. I don't think. I think once they make Mark Zuckerberg, because Mark Zuckerberg is taking the brunt of this and saying that he's more informed about what's going on than anybody else, and he'd be the only spokesman that would go out and talk about these issues to the public. I don't think he has what. I don't think. I'm sorry, Mark. I don't think that you have what it takes to talk to Congress about what you've done. I think you're gonna fucking break a sweat.
Yeah, he's a slimy one, man. He's gonna lose his cool.
Yeah.
He's got some balls, I'll tell you that. I
It's
give
all
him
fine and
that.
dandy when you're talking in front of your employees and people that are going to praise you, but once you're talking to Congress, I don't know.
He's got enough money to buy. I mean, if he does fuck up, he's got enough money to buy himself off. But yeah, it'll be the PR value of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's up to it.
About what do I need to do to make this right? Auditing these app companies don't count when you allowed yourself to go through that. You
I bet.
complied with it to begin with.
I bet you all he's going to do is go up there and say he's sorry anyway. That's what he says about everything. Hey, I'm sorry.
No.
You can't just say you're sorry for what just happened for the last 2 days and all the stuff that the Federal Trade Commission and the UK courts want you for. You can't. Sorry, dude.
Hey, he can't delete his stock price off the exchange. It's there, man. Hey, buddy, you can run, but you can't hide, man. Because there's a real market out there that's trading whatever you think Facebook is worth and what they think Facebook is worth. And yeah, good luck, man.
Yeah, Facebook stock is down $4.50. It's dropping. What's
He roses off the bloom, man.
Dude, like who knows what's going to happen at 9 o'clock Eastern time? Is that tomorrow? It might be a more massive sell-off.
Well, he's still dumping stock. I want to know, did he put in his 90-day notice? As a CEO, you got to give 90-day notice before you dump stock. You think he gave 90-day notice? He said, "Oh fuck, I'm losing money. Here's 40 million shares here, another 5, another 20. So you can't, you just can't do that, man."
Okay, I'm looking at Yahoo News, and when I'm looking at the link to Facebook's stock account, the number one story that comes up under Facebook stock news story links to the Wall Street Journal in text saying, next to worry, Facebook disenchanted users. Front picture, okay, to the Facebook share price is a picture of a guy watching a screen saying how to delete Facebook account permanently. Bro, if the Wall Street Journal is posting this article on you, you're fucked. I'm sorry.
You're done.
You're done.
Hey, look, now, if it drops too far, they'll dump him off the Dow exchange, too, and that always hurts the stock.
Bro, the Wall Street Journal
Yawn
is putting bad articles
Yeah.
about what's really going on your
They're done with you, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even the co-founder of WhatsApp has been talking to trying to warn Facebook that you can't have this attitude of you didn't know. You can't just deny it. Like they're playing the stupid game.
Yeah.
They're playing the stupid
Yeah, you
game.
can't.
They're playing the stupid game until they need to call their lawyers, which they're already doing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody on the top is like, well, I'm glad like, oh well, shit, should I fucking resign now before I fucking go to jail? Like,
Yeah. Are you gonna go?
Building, maybe?
Are you gonna go to jail for this wanker boy? Are you really?
I wonder what his wife's saying to him right now. Oh, it'll be a fly on the fucking wall.
he's got an Asian wife. She's probably bitching him out. Like,
They're all making fun of you. Fuck you. You're an asshole.
And Anonymous is laughing it up.
Yeah, who's the dumb effer now?
the front on the investor screen on Yahoo News, which is like it's a major.
Oh man,
it's a major news
That's
source. Like
big.
Yahoo has lost a lot of its content, or a lot of its search. A lot of people don't use the search engine, but it is tied into a lot of information into shareholder and shareholder information. Like oh, I'm going to press on Facebook stock, so I'm going to look at the top articles that are related to your stock, and the top one is a picture of the wall. Is a link to Wall Street Journal with an article that has a picture on how to delete Facebook account permanently. This is not good, dude.
No, that's big.
Yeah, I got a link to help. I'll show you a way.
Well, it's all his attitude. Honestly, what I see him where he went wrong, it's all in his head trip and his attitude.
Too big to
You
fail.
can't treat your users like shit. You can't sell their data and then act like it's no big deal and you're just sorry.
You can't
you can't do that. You can't be an asshole, man.
Like what he does. What they've been doing is like if they didn't like your specific view on content, they just delete you and unpublish your page. We had a warning where we were told to unpublish. We were asked to get rid of content that violated their terms of service. I mean, and I know it's because we described how they're
how we stood up at a kitchen.
Yeah, and
did it immediately, right?
I mean,
they scared the crap out of us, man. We unpublished that right away. Yeah. Yeah, do it, man. You're gonna unpublish us because we ain't.
I didn't do it. Like I just described how your censorship algorithm works and the shadow banning.
Yeah.
2 words, 1 finger.
Yeah. You mean you can't shadow ban me enough to where I have to unpublish myself? It's like it's not happening, dude. So your stock tanks. It's karma, man. I mean, that's what happens to little boys. That's what happens.
To content creators who were Facebook bound, which were not really at all. I would say this is the time to start exploring other options. It was good.
MySpace is open.
Actually, you know what? I kind of, I didn't think that Facebook was or MySpace was as big as it is. There's still 50 million people using it. I didn't know the numbers were that big, but
years, man, on that one. But they're gonna keep all my stuff too. See, it never goes away. Stuff.
I'm gonna hang out on Discord and do my thing. I do miss the old Java chat. I like the Java chat.
Dude, I miss my YouTube account.
It's much better than having an actual, sometimes, friends list like on Facebook where there can be drama and your neighbor's mad at you about it on a random chat server.
They can report.
Drama.
Yeah, they can report you and get you banned. And yeah, man, it's all juvenile.
Create another profile.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
like you're a high school juvenile bullshit. Like you got the student council. They're going up and down the halls. You have your hall pass.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? It's like, well, what are you walking around with a fucking clipboard? Worried about what I'm doing. Why don't you get off my back? How about that? Same thing with Zuckerberg. It's like, it's just too much, man. It's like, dude, get off my back. What is it with the what is it with this trip that you're on?
It needs to go back to the basics. The internet is just one giant card catalog of things. It's whatever your imagination can carry you to. You can chat with whoever, bullshit, troll each other, not give a shit about it later. Go about your business.
I don't know.
Get rid of social media networks where all the neighborhood, local drama can be created all in one spot. You got live streams, somebody walking down the road shooting the neighbors over a stolen phone, or getting high with their baby in the car. Yeah, my 3-year-old hits this blunt, right?
That's what Facebook's good for. Yeah, it's like exposing all these fools. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're gonna put a felony
Yeah, how
on
about
Facebook
that?
Live. Good job, man. Good job.
Oh shit, Minds.com emailed me. Oh wow. All right,
Oh,
Minds.com.
you're fired.
Minds.com. Our response to the Facebook data scandal, Minds.com is saying that the privacy and user foundation of Minds. Please take a few minutes to read developments and read our blog. What did they say in Minds.com?
Are they listening to the show, really? Great.
Yeah, Minds.com, hey, you guys had like a great foundation, and then you guys kind of incorporated the cryptocurrency. I think they have their own internal cryptocurrency in there, which they're calling user points. But I'm not sure how you can actually upvote and turn your posts into actual currency, or to transfer it out. But when they started advertising that they were an IPO, which a lot of social companies will do, and that you can invest into it. That's great and all, but I'm not going to invest. I would never invest into a company that's been in beta for the last 5 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a bad
That's a
sign.
bad sign.
Yeah,
It still
slow.
says Mind.
Are they needing developers?
It
Is,
just
is
says
that the
it
thing?
just says Mind beta, and it's been in beta since like forever.
Well, I guess they're having trouble actually getting good minds to come work for them.
Well, I mean, as a social media, as a social media platform, have they incorporated, have they updated everything? Yeah, but if I'm an investor and I'm looking at your shit and do some history, I'm like, man, your logo hasn't changed from beta in forever. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, why are you stuck in beta? What's the problem?
Oh God.
There's usually some CEO skimming all the money off the top. That's the problem. It doesn't go back into the R&D and building anything.
They got to pay the grocery bill somehow.
They got to keep up their mistresses too.
Yeah.
More expensive.
I ain't about $200 an hour.
A big time CEO.
Foster gonna get you. You'll get caught up in foster care.
Boston.
Yeah, Zuckerberg's solution to this was, I remember him stating this today, is that he will investigate all apps that had access to rather large information in the platform, and then we will conduct audits for app suspicious activity. Well, that you can't. The only suspicious activity is that you gave it to them, so you're placing the blame on other people when there really was no suspicious shit going on. So
No, the only thing that's suspicious is his activities.
yeah.
We can't talk about that. So he's doing the three things you always do: deny, delay,
And deflect.
and deflect.
Yeah.
So he's lawyering up, and he's doing the classic three things you do if you're a real schmuck. and it's those three things, the three Ds. So good job, man. Good
yeah,
job.
you can on the Facebook. Were there apps on Facebook that were probably a lot more than the user was telling? Of course there was, but you
Mhm.
don't get data sets from 50 million users from a psychological from a psychological test at 270,000 people, and then in all of the articles I read, it's not clear how the data came back and forth unless Facebook gave it to them for a price. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know how he operates. He doesn't do anything for free. So he was paid. Now he just needs to own up with how much he was paid.
Yeah.
Come on, just get it out there. Because if we have to do it, if it has to come out in a dirty manner, that's not good PR for you.
Yeah.
He's the big time CEO. I just want to see him sweat in front of the panel. It's a good start right there. Get him in front of this congressional panel, and let's get the camera on him. He really likes it. It's like, this is what you do to these scum, man. You have to turn the light on them. They're like cockroaches. Start running, looking for a corner, looking for some place to hide. You get a little scared. If he'll make his next bad move, because he's dumb. He's not really that smart anyway, or he wouldn't be doing any of this.
Well, yeah, yeah. But actually, in actuality, when it comes up to the whole Facebook design, he really got a lot of the ideas from other people and then bought them, just like Steve, not Steve Jobs, the other guy, the Microsoft guy. It's similar to what,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The movie that they did on Facebook on Mark Zuckerberg is a very skewed version. He paid and bought a lot of the stuff that you see on Facebook today, including some of the original concepts. So
Hey,
he's not as smart as you would think. A lot of the smart guys that went into Facebook are the people that did it. But Mark, it really wasn't Mark's. A lot of it wasn't.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't from him.
Didn't he steal the original code?
I believe.
Wasn't that? Yeah.
I believe
He got.
he bought it. So.
Well, I'm just enjoying watching him go down. I mean, I could talk about it all night. I don't know. It just makes me happy.
Oh, I mean, Twitter. I see that in the future, but not anytime soon. I mean, I do see it going down, but not
A lot of people getting banned, off of there too.
Well, yeah, I do see the
Yeah.
banning.
All their guns, anything to do with guns, got stripped off of YouTube in the last few days. Big channels too, millions.
How long will you think it takes for it all to hit YouTube as well? Because you know how it is. Facebook says it needs to go, and we're doing it through YouTube. Or they'll go to YouTube and say, "Hey, we need your help on this." No, that's
Well,
how
yeah,
they work.
you shouldn't be running to YouTube. I mean, that's not a solution. You need to be running away from the big guys, Facebook and YouTube for sure. Twitter,
Well,
yeah, I wouldn't. It's okay to stay there for a while, but yeah, you got to keep moving then, because they're all compromised already.
yeah, I've seen a lot of older anons that are like, "Look, watch this video," and then they're like, "Oh, well, it's blurred in certain areas. They didn't blur it. YouTube blurred it." You one of them things that you're looking at 'em like bullshit. You just weren't holding your phone steady.
Or when you see gaps in your content that you've uploaded that you were sure were there, Facebook or YouTube deletes them.
Yeah, it's edited somehow.
Yeah, who wants to waste the time? You're just wasting your time. I mean, why would you wouldn't if you had on the street, you wouldn't deal with him. You go, man, this guy. Wouldn't matter what he's selling. This guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
Why would you do it? That's the same thing. Well, it's just because the company's name Facebook or YouTube. It's like, so what? What is that? It's just a bunch of letters, and it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And if you ever built a web page, when you build a web page, it don't matter who visits or who hangs out on that web page. Whoever built that web page has total control of that page, so they can do whatever they like. They can change your words if they want to.
Yeah, same thing if you were hosting with them. I mean,
Yeah. If I was to build a chat server, say through Angel Fire, and like give you all these options, an op panel where you can easily kick somebody out of the panel without having to type in a command line. I have that, and then the extra power to make sure you don't get that op panel
People are still
back.
on Angel Fire.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
I was like, man, that was like
I like
a
it
90, that was
because
like a 90s fucking, that was like when we were learning like how to do HTML and shit. Like, hey man, like I did this whole website by hand on HTML without Dreamweaver. That was like back in the day, like back in the day.
well, it's an easy platform to use. It's a little
Was
manageable.
it? Did they, yeah, because I remember didn't Angel Fire have the CRM, the content research management tools, like in the background, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like first gen. Yeah.
there's got to be some better place to go in. I just can't believe it's not already out there. I just can't see why it's so hard to program this stuff.
Yeah. Well, now with the tools that you got with the content resource management, I mean, like there really isn't a lot to it. I mean, a lot of it's point and click. Uh, if you want to get more in depth, I mean, building a whole social media platform, that's it,
Yeah, it
insane.
looks like
It's
Script work
insane.
is
It's a lot of work.
insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
You'll write 45 pages of script work just to give somebody one good page just to look at. Not two or three, just one page, and you're scripting 45 pages just for one page.
Mm.
You'll go bug eyed it. You'll find out you're schizophrenic when you were never schizophrenic.
Well, it's like most of these companies come up. I mean, they have not that they have to, but they lose money for quite a while until they get the platform up, get some traffic. They advertise now. I mean, there's a real plan to it, and it takes a while. But I don't know, man. I just
Remember John, that one guy, John Smith or whatever his name was, going on Facebook, and he was one of the anons that had tried to create an alternate social media platform. It was called the Anonymous Network, and he dedicated a lot of time and script work to it. But push came to shove, nobody went on it. You know, like
I think it's, he had a clock counter up there, which was logging the client servers, which was going on.
well, not only that, like it didn't have all the bells and whistles and incorporations that you would like to see on any social media platform. I mean, it kind of reminded me of like something that we would see on on an old MySpace platform. It wasn't very advanced. You can't expect a lot of traffic. On something that's doesn't have all the bells and whistles that a lot of people like. Or a lot of the features that a lot of people like to use. Oh God.
well,
He sent me a friend request today. Mark Zuckerberg sent you a friend request today. Hold on. Oh, you know what I didn't? You know what I didn't check? Hold on. Let me see what Mark said on his own profile. He's probably quiet about it.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry I got caught. I'm sorry I did those things. I didn't mean to ask you those pedo questions. That was a little out of line. I'm sorry.
Oh wow. He's saying, I want to share an update on the Cambridge Analytica situation, and including the steps we've already taken and our next steps to address the important issue. Here's a timeline of events, blah, 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 trying to cover my ass, blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, he wrote a fucking article. Can you report him? You can report his post.
Yeah, you can. So, somebody had once had his
Let me see what people
was
are saying.
they changed his profile picture and his wallpaper picture by reporting what he had done originally.
David Kirkpatrick says in regarding to what he said, it's good you've written something, but taking questions from the press in person would be just the beginning. Just to begin to rebuild a toxic decline in trust in this incident and other recent data lapses have in something. I don't know what that word means. I think he made it up. In my opinion, you should not hide behind Facebook posts when you lead a company with data with 2.2 billion people. And many of us now fear that you are jeopardizing democracy at a global scale. And it's sad that we have to write about this, but so it is. And then Mark Zuckerberg says, I'm going to do an interview with CNN shortly.
Hey, they'll take your money. They'll crank out fake news all day long. That's what he ought to do. That's a good plan, man. Yeah, go over to CNN and start lying.
You go to the Clown News Network.
Hey, they're hurting over there too.
That's like the first time I've seen Mark Zuckerberg reply in any of the comments that somebody says to him. Wow. David Kirkpatrick.
I say we pour more gasoline on this fire, man. You know, he was going to burn this house down. Let's do it right.
And David Kirkpatrick on Twitter says how the FTC could have avoided the Facebook mess, but yet the Federal Trade Commission is coming after you. Sorry. So is Congress and the UK courts and the Austrian courts, the Irish courts. They're in a shitload of fucking trouble, Mark.
Maybe he secretly likes courts. Because if you keep doing this, you're going to keep going, and you have to go to all these countries and all their courts. Costs you a lot of money.
Let me look at his Instagram account. I didn't know he had an Instagram. Oh God.
I'm sorry. Let me get you my best I'm sorry face. I'm sorry.
Oh God. God damn. Anyway.
Please don't leave, Tyler. Please don't leave. You and the anonymous guys, please don't leave. I'm sorry.
You're the only guys who stay with me.
Yeah, I know I fucked you guys over a lot. And it was nothing personal, believe me. I do it to other people, but I'm sorry. Is that going to be enough?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's funny.
Oh wow! We only have like 8 minutes left, 7 minutes left. Yeah, right. Shoot.
Wow.
Can't believe he did a full show with me feeling like shit the whole time. Dude, this cold fucking it hit me out of nowhere.
You got flu bola?
No, I woke up with like a sore throat, but just a upper respiratory infection. Like I just got the sore throat, and now my nose is running like a faucet. And tomorrow will be the probably the worst of it.
Got a lot of smog out there, or is it pretty clean?
A lot of smog. But what else was I gonna get at? on some of our agendas for tonight. We got the FOSTA bill, Texas thing, WhatsApp, Facebook losing 60 billion, Federal Trade Commission deleting Facebook. You see Facebook crash in Canada.
I think they lost more than Tesla made
Yeah,
in a year.
yeah,
In a day than a year.
that's true as well. We talked about the death sentence from Trump. Yeah. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about is Trump's hypothetical talks next month with Kim Jong. I don't. Do you think it's even going to happen? Like,
I'd say they need to bring their big red buttons with them. They beat each other over the head with them.
They're taking a tape measure with them.
That's right. See who's his biggest. Bigger.
Smaller.
Yeah, it depends on your perspective, right?
Smaller, smallest.
oh man.
4 inches is 4 inches. Don't argue.
Well, they both got 4 inches. The only difference is one fucked a porn star while he's with his wife.
Are you
Might
saying
as well
Kim
be a
didn't
porn
do
star,
that?
huh?
What?
I bet you.
Go ahead.
Preston.
Huh?
Yeah,
Oh, I bet Kim did that too.
probably.
Oh yeah. How much did he pay though?
He probably had sex with Dennis Rodman.
Ooh.
Why do you think they're best friends?
Yeah. Goodbye, Dennis.
Yeah, that's where I got to draw the line.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like, it would be kind of cool, like, hey, Trump, if you're listening to us on our Twitter feed, get rid of all of those travel bans. That might be a start. With the negotiations, it would be kind of cool if, like, their ambassador could come and fly to the United States to talk about peace treaties. That would be a start. Because I don't see any Air Pyongyangs coming to LAX or LaGuardia anytime soon. Was I the only one who got that joke?
Oh, sorry, man. I was in the middle of yawning. I missed it.
Come on, man. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I guess I can use these 3 minutes to talk about So in lieu of we get unpublished from Facebook, you can always follow us on any of the following links on below on the description of our this Facebook link or wherever you're viewing it on Twitter. You can also see where we're broadcasting to. We also have a link on the bottom of the description onto our Discord channel. From there, you can get in depth, or you can talk to us, a bit more about what's going on out there, and even to what this Facebook Now stuff is all about, or Delete Facebook Now is all about. We should probably come up with a better solution for our YouTube channel, but for now, we are banned from streaming to there until whatever. I mean, if we got to create another YouTube channel so you guys can see us again or listen to us, that might be the alternate solution for live streaming until YouTube gives me a legit message back on like what we can do to change this, which they probably won't. We're kind of stuck where we're at. But another thing you will be seeing in the recent future is that we will be streaming to more platforms, which we will throughout the week be putting up link descriptions to other places that we will be streaming to as well, and that's something to look forward to coming up. We will be here same time next week if we're deleted off of Facebook because of this episode. You can find us on Twitter at ABB Live or on VK at VK/Anonymous Bites Back. You guys got anything?
No, that's it.
All right,
it.
then we'll roll out with the outro.
Have a good night.
Right.
I hereby declare
Good
this to
morning,
be an
wherever.
unlawful assembly.